All right, g'day. Welcome back to Head Angle Podcast. Stoked to be sitting here with Matt Holmes again. How you doing?
Welcome back for the head angle number 4.
Yeah, we're pumped. Been a minute. So, all right. Well, tonight we're pretty stoked. We've got a pretty amazing dude with us. Basically, the voice of good times and BMX in this fair city. The man, the myth, the legend, the Xave Koen. How you doing?
Oh, pretty flattered by that. Thanks very much. Yeah, no, I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks very much for having me. This is pretty sweet. I'm really looking forward to getting to talk to you guys with some massive microphones in front of our faces for once. It's gonna be good.
Microphone.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, man, I don't know, all of us, we've known each other for a long time now, and it's, we've definitely shared a lot of, rad times, a lot of bike riding, just cool shit, man. So let's
Fuckload of bike riding, that's for sure.
Let's delve deep.
Nice.
I don't know if you want to. Let's go back to the beginning of young Xave growing up in the Blue Mountains.
Fuck yeah.
How'd you kind of start riding bikes, man?
I kind of out of necessity, like growing up and needing a bike or whatever to get around town. Like to go up the shop and get milk or whatever. That type of thing. Like starts you riding bikes, and then I was lucky enough that like around my town there just happened to be the worst BMX track in like all of New South Wales. I think it got voted that like 5 or 6 years in a row. But
who votes for this?
I don't fucking know, but that's what we got told.
They're
the upper echelon dudes, I suppose. And so I used to go down there and sort of hang out, and then I'd slowly, that was where I learnt to ride a bike as well, actually, like rolling down a fucking old school roll-in hill. Like it wasn't like a crazy one they have now, obviously, but you guys know that pretty well.
Is this?
Lawson, BMX track.
Yeah.
And so kind of like learned how to ride down there and kicking around or whatever. And it wasn't for like a little bit longer. I guess I was like fairly young when I noticed that they were doing races down there, that there were a whole bunch of people getting together and having races, and I had no idea that there was like a formal thing or a club or anything like that. But I just thought it was cool, and I was like, whatever it is those dudes are doing is cool, and I enjoyed that. And then I found out that my 2 cousins, Roger and Mark Vaughan, who are like as OG as they fucking come, they're from Mittagong area, and they used to build these jumps like modern style jumps, but way back in the fucking mid-90s. Like these jumps still had square fucking edges and all the rest of it,
There were a few sets of trails in Mittagong back then. I remember going to some early when I was
Were they the ones up near the tip?
Yeah, tip trails.
Yeah,
and there
that
ones
was
at
Mark
the
and
Mittagong
Roger
Weir as well.
That was both of those sets
No
with
way.
Mark and Roger Vaughan, my cousins. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So they were the guys that kind of like,
Yes.
I guess I saw like a bike with pegs and 4-piece bars and all that shit that really fucking turns you on, like the stuff that like is like, fuck, that's mechanical and oh my God. And then to see the dudes like, they were like strapping through the fucking bush at those tip jumps, like just flat, like a flat fucking plane, and then the jumps are just sort of built out of the ground, like pretty old school style, but pretty modern as well. Anyway, strapping through there and then just like launching, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where is he going to? And then like landing over there, like, what the fuck just happened? Like he went from fucking there to there, and there's nothing in between. Like all I'd seen was the BMX track, like everything's like you make it or whatever the fuck you don't, whatever. You either make it or you don't. There's no repercussions.
Yeah.
These dudes jumping jumps that were like built out of the ground with fucking nothing in the middle, and they knew that they were going to land that. I was like, how the fuck do you guys work that out? That is something that you can do. And that just got me like just absolutely enamored with it. Like I just fucking fell in love, and I just spent the fucking probably next, I don't know, fucking long time of my life trying to like have a bike that was even similar to theirs, like something that looked heavy, that looked solid, that looked mechanical, that looked fucking like it could take a beating and shit. And I never ended up getting one of those types of bikes as a kid, but it kept me fucking hunting, like I loved it. I fell in love with it.
Do you remember what was the first bike you remember having, like in riding at the track and stuff?
I do remember having a 16-inch bike that was pretty sick, that I liked because I do know footers on it for some reason. Like I was pretty fucking young, but I don't mean I was like young for doing that trick, but I mean like young for having a memory of a bike that I'm psyched on. But the grips were like those molded hard plastic grips that were molded to the shape of little kids' hands.
With the weird winged flangey bits.
Exactly,
ends.
yeah. They would like wrap up over the edge of your
Oh,
pinky
yeah.
and shit.
That's the Oakley B wing grip or whatever
Truly?
that was. Yeah,
But the
Oakley.
Kmart version was made of solid hard plastic.
made of
with
Right,
zero
right.
give. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that I had a bike that had
was
those on
concrete.
there, like crazy sweep on the bars and shit like that. And around that time, the older guys who were racing, like the Wales brothers and fucking the Douglas brothers and shit like that, like Chook and all these guys that are, if you're from the fucking mountains, like these dudes are legends. All those dudes were like riding and doing whatever. And I had this fucking like, this like real shitty fucking 16-inch bike. But these guys had like pit bikes. They started bringing like their own 16 inches down to the fucking BMX track or whatever and having fun on them and just buggerizing around. But that's when I noticed, oh my God, you can swap components on these bikes as well. You know, like I can take this little fucking thing off here and put that one, you know, like I could change the stems over or the goosenecks or whatever the fuck it was. I could change that shit around.
can
So I
make it your
started,
bike.
exactly. I started building a 16-inch bike with like not good parts at all, but better parts than what were on them, rather than having like a Phillips head screwdriver gooseneck piece that was attached to like a one-piece handlebar. I fucked that off and put in like a 1-inch gooseneck that had like those terrible 13mm
Underneath bolts,
Yeah,
the coach
underneath
bolts?
bolts. That was
Yeah,
like
dude.
it was like a circle inside a circle that was somehow meant to grip on
Gripping,
enough.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so that was the shit I was like
You know what
started
I'm tripping about the
experimenting with.
most?
What?
You want a 16-inch bike?
Yeah, man, I know, right?
You're 7 foot.
The man
freaking
child.
Girth of man.
Yeah. But yeah, that bike, I ran that bike for a long time. I was psyched on that. And then the first bike I remember getting that was new that had that I was like fucking blown away by was this piece of shit Repco bike that Mum bought from fucking God knows where. But it was brand new. It had the little hairs on the tires, and I remember staring at the hairs on the tires for so fucking long, like. Getting that bike on Christmas Day, it was like out the back of the house, you know, it was like fully magical fucking times getting this bike I wasn't expecting. And yeah, staring at like the newness of the tires with their hairs all over it. Like the textural fucking
Did you
smell
sleep with
of
it
the
in your
rubber
room that
and
night?
shit. Yeah, definitely.
Fuck
Like
yes.
I'm sure I would have. But ever since then, like those smells, I can fucking smell it now, but the smell of the rubber tires, like that brand new rubber smell is fucking just burned into my brain. And yeah, I really like that. That bike was sick. That was a Repco. But that was pretty, you know, that was cool for a while. And then styles changed again. And I was like, I got to be a little bit older. And so I had to get something new, like chrome. I had to have chrome something, like something chrome had.
Didn't we all, man?
Man, it was fucking like, I had to have that shit. Otherwise, like, I was going to kill myself or, you know, I was going to kill everyone else or something. Mum knew that. So she went out and got a $20 free agent eluder that had no brakes and had a crack in the crossbar of the handlebars. No grips on it. $20 and gave it to. That was my birthday present when I was like 12 or something. But that was enough. That was like a proper 20-inch bike that had like 20-inch wheels, had a fucking freewheel. It was 44/16 and shit, you know, with those wafer thin sprockets and one-piece
yeah.
cranks and shit.
And dropouts.
What's that?
And dropouts.
It had dropouts. Yeah.
No, talk about wafer thin.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were like pathetic. But like, yeah, like, you know, 3/8, just piece of shit, old free agent. Like, I suppose
Brakeless, yeah?
nothing's fucking changed. Yeah, it's brakeless. V-brake mounts, and there was no fucking way I knew how to set up V-brake mounts, let alone get my hands on a pair of V-brakes.
So what year were we talking? That you've run brakeless since then, yeah?
Yeah. Well, before then, no, because I took the wedges out of my 16-inch back wheel, so I didn't have back pedal brakes on that.
So you had a standard
Unbrake.
precursor, an unbrake.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard you could do that with back pedal brakes, and I wanted
Yep.
to be like the old kids
Yep.
with and not have back pedal brakes. So I heard you could do that, so I did it. And then it was
that's some
like,
good stuff.
I think I lost a few ball bearings in the process, so
Yeah.
it was pretty fucking rough ride after
Yeah.
that for a while. But no, it was good. Like that, yeah, that was cool.
You
And
sound
then
like an OG street or free, or flatland dude.
yeah, totally. That's exactly what I've been doing. You know, flatland for 40 years. I'm
Did
guru
you-
of the shit.
Did you ever try racing out?
Yeah, I did.
at the track
I
at
fucking
Lawson?
did. Yeah, I tried racing on my free agent Eludo with no brakes and everything, and I went down there like I heard it was Because I was riding at this track constantly, I was pretty fast, and I was really enjoying the track, and I knew the track inside and out. And I was
scared of this dude
I was
down the
probably
first straight.
no, what? Like no. Anyway, if I no fucking way. Yeah, and I went down and tried to sign up, thinking like, you know, maybe I'll go okay, maybe I'll see how it goes or whatever. And they basically snubbed me, and they were like, "Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you pathetic poor motherfucker." Like, I had heard it was $5 to sign up, and they're like, "It's $5 to ride in the open day, dipshit." They're like, "It's $25 if you want to sign up for the year or whatever, and you have to have a long sleeve shirt, and you have to have gloves, and you have to have a fucking helmet, and you have to have brakes on your bike." And I was like, fuck. Like, the only helmet I had was this piece of shit Rosebank helmet that would have got me bullied down hard. Like, this is fucking
Dude, everyone
late
had
90s.
a stack hat, man.
Dude, I didn't even have a fucking stack hat. Like, I had a piece of shit. Like,
I was in an ad for Rosebank stack hats, dude.
God damn it, man. So you're the one that my fucking mum probably saw and was like, "He looks smart and intelligent. I'm going to go
I
and
think that's
fucking
what
buy
they
it.
said in the ad, dude.
Blame this guy.
I'm going to buy the helmet that man's wearing. That'll keep my son safe." So yeah, I went down and anyway, so they told me I had to do all that shit. So I went back home, sorted out some, I don't know what fucking gardening gloves or something like that. Because my little brother started racing at the same time, and he was racing in cotton gloves, and I got the gardening gloves because I was like older and shit. So I took advantage of the fact that I was older than him, and I was like, "No, man, I need the fucking leather gloves or whatever." But like big open fucking gardening gloves and Rosebank helmet and all my brakes and shit had just been sticky taped on. I just sticky taped the fucking, like the lever was on the handlebars legitimately, the cracked handlebars, it's still cracked handlebars.
What
scrutiny?
And I put the cable on, like sticky taped the cable fucking housing onto the lever or whatever, and then around to the frame and sticky taped it to the frame and shit. Had some brake calipers on there with no pads or whatever, and so there's no chance of it, you know, touching or anything like that, whatever the fuck it was. But they were just like fake brakes, like brakes at a site. You know what I mean? Like, if they just glance at it, it's got brakes. As long as I don't let them fucking have a look at my bike.
Pretty fucking light glance.
No, well, that's the thing. Like, but if you're standing there in front of your bike with your hands on your bars, you know, like raring to go, ready to race, here's my fucking $25 or whatever.
Yeah.
They look down and see the lever and a cable. Well, they're not going to assume that you fucking sticky tape this shit to your bike.
And there is a rule, like if you're not in a shop buying a bike where you can touch all the brakes, you don't go and touch someone else's brakes and pull the lever. I mean, that's pretty much, you don't do that.
I'm sure I broke that rule heaps.
I don't think you should do that. I mean, me personally.
Yeah,
Name for the
no.
channel?
Maybe as a fucking 10-year-old, maybe I didn't give a shit. But
I'm talking about the scrutineers shouldn't touch your brakes.
Oh no, absolutely
Yeah.
not. Stay the fuck away
Screw
from me. I'm a
them.
child, pedo. Get away.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I just want to race.
Violation of
What are
personal
you,
space.
fucking
That's it,
church?
right? Let me fucking race. That was it. And so I raced. They put me in D group because of my age, I think it was, and I fucking smoked those fools. Like, it was undefeated in D group. Undefeated though, by a fucking mile, a country mile, and they gave me the trophy for that. Bumped me to C, and I think the first day in C, we had 5 motos in the day, and the first fucking 4 motos, I was like smoked. Like, these guys were blasting me. I was coming fucking 6th and 5th and shit like that, and getting beaten by a couple of girls who were racing there as well, which I don't mean to be sexist, but in the late 90s, that was a bit of a hit for a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old to take.
I wonder who it was.
I can't remember her name, but she was incredible. She's from a racing family, and they were all just like fucking so dialed, you know,
Yeah.
like super good.
My first ever race day, I was
Yeah.
11 or 12. I got beat by an 8-year-old girl.
Fuck.
So don't
Okay.
feel
Right.
too bad.
Right.
man.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's probably like, you know, fairly similar circumstances, I suppose. But like, these guys are all up in the fucking gate wearing fucking pajamas and a helmet and all the rest of the fucking get up and croupy shit and all the rest. And I'm like with sticky taped brakes on and gardening gloves, and I think I was wearing like fucking hiking boots that my mum had bought me or something, like, for, you know, like full on big clunky fucking outdoors boots, because I'm thinking like, that's what people wear when they're fucking being physical, you know, like, I'm going to ride this bicycle now.
One
Take
foot out
off
in
down
the corner,
fucking-
man. You want some foot protection.
I didn't have to put a foot out. I was too far ahead. It didn't matter. But C Group taught me a lot. They'd fucking smashed my ego the first 4 races, and the 5th race of the day, they decided it was going to be a sit-down race. And like, everyone was going to sit down and no one was going to stand up. You're going to do the lap like that. And everybody's looking at each other across the gate. Everybody, yeah. Everybody agrees that that's what's going to happen. And as soon as the fucking gate drops, I just stand up and just fucking leg it, because fuck those cunts, right? I'm fucking going to win some shit today. Like, I did not get undefeated in D grade. just to be bumped up to C grade to find out that I should be in D grade, right? That's not my fucking, no way, I'm going to B today. And so I stood up and pedaled my fucking ass off and had like almost an entire straight of a head start, and I still came third. I was like, they fucking smoked me in that one. And after that, it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I fucking like this racing side of it. Like, preferred to spend time in the bush, you know, like that type of thing. But I thought that racing was the only connection to more people who ride bikes, you know. And then it was kind of like discovered, that like Hazelbrook Trails were there, and they were a bit of a thing. And you know, there were guys that were like just like my cousins who lived, you know, Mittagong's not that far from where I live, but as a kid, no fucking way. It's an hour and a half drive, but as a kid, that's like, you know, to the moon and back. So to find out that there were kids doing like similar shit to them, but like just nearby, fucking blew my mind. And that's where I was kind of like, all right, fuck racing, you know. Like,
so Hazo was in its prime then, basically.
Yeah, Hazo was fucking crazy, man. Like we had been going down there and sort of looking at what they were doing down there since we were very young, but we knew well and truly to stay away. Like it was like fucking hardcore dudes throwing rocks at kids and shit.
That Glenn Newland?
Yeah, Glenn Newland. Yeah, fucking oath, man. Like Glenn, I went, yeah.
It was a giant ranger with dreadlocks. You got to be careful, man.
He's a fucking intimidating man. Oh my God. Like I don't think I've ever met somebody as intimidating as he was when I was. Yeah, and he's fucking lovely. Like he's the best guy. But when you're a kid and you fucking can hear these guys like hollering and going on in the bush just off over yonder, and you can't see them, it's fucking scary. And then you have to come out of the bush and like hope they accept you. You know, like it was very rare that anybody was accepted down there. Newland fucking knew how to run a ship, you know, and like we were the young fucking dickheads that like we would walk in there with a skateboard or whatever and be like, hey, can you go through the jumps for my friends and me so we can watch, and just get shut down by them and shit, you know. So they'd throw rocks at us until we left and all that type of shit. And it was only through like we started digging our own jumps up in Lawson when I was like 10. That was fucking sick. I was with a dude called Steve Brown and a dude called Andrew Beeman, who were a couple of years older than me. But that was where we started digging jumps that we thought we could like potentially have something that was similar to Hazelbrook, but we knew that there was no fucking way. Like we just were incapable of jumping jumps like that at that point. And then we started digging jumps and stuff. And then we thought like, these have got to get bigger. We've got to find a way to make these bigger. But not really knowing like where the fuck are we going to get this dirt from, you know? Like up until that point, jumps are just like kind of mounds of dirt that you could scrape the topsoil together. Like that was like the evolution of a 10-year-old and two 12-year-olds, you know, trying to build their own shit. And then it was around that time I saw my cousin's jumps, and that they had fucking tombs, dug out tombs in the ground, you know? And I was like, holy shit, that's where we get the fucking dirt from. We dig the jumps into the ground, we make them fucking twice as high. We've got dirt coming out of our fucking asses, and we've got bigger jumps, you know what I mean? And so that's where we dug out all these pits and shit, and we had like a proper 8-pack or something like that. That was like all dug into the ground. It was fucking legit. And that was pretty much, that was like, that spot at the bottom of Hughes Avenue in Lawson was pretty much it. Like aside from the BMX track, that spot was like just being hooked on everything to do with, like I didn't, there was no skate parks and no fucking, there was street, I guess, but not that I fucking knew about.
When did Winnie Falls pop up? Like the bowls and...
Winnie Falls started in 98.
That's way later, yeah.
Yeah. That was Chris Smith and another dude, I can't fucking remember his last name, but his name's Bennett, and he's incredibly creative dude.
I've just said Chris and Bennett, and I'm just like mind boggling.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But
Trails?
Chris Smith and another guy called Bennett, and they started that place in around 98, and I remember I heard fucking rumors about the place in 2001 when I just started high school, and I remember going around there with this kid who was like never ever going to be a BMX rider in his entire life, didn't give a flying fuck about it, but just his mum bought him a bike because he was fucking loaded or something like that. A really fucking sweet bike too. That I was pretty jealous of, because I was just like, fucking noob, get some fucking mad bike, and I'm still puttering around on a piece of shit. But we heard about them and we went looking for them, and at the time it was like a track through the bush and one jump, but it had this crazy deep hole in the fucking ground where he'd been getting all the dirt out and stuff, and that hole that he started ended up becoming the double bowls that were there and shit years later. And Chris was actually like, he was almost as far opposite from Newland as you could possibly get. Like operating heaps under the radar. Nobody really knew that the spot was there or that it even was a spot or anything like that. Chris wasn't interested in riding at Hazelbrook, you know, and being a part of that like almost elite level or that upper echelon group. I think because he was riding 24-inch wheels or something like that, but whatever. That was why Dad went with Falls. And he kind of took us in, you know, like particularly me. Like he taught me fucking heaps and heaps of shit about wall rides, and he taught me how to do no foot. Like
that good wall ride off the side of the jump.
Yeah, out of the. No, there was like in the bowl. Like
there was a ride in the bowl as well.
Quarter pipe style wall rides and shit, and kind of taught me a little bit about digging and stuff like that. And then like as he got older, which was almost immediate because he's like 1,000 years old now or something, selling fucking houses or whatever it is you're doing. Chris, you piece of shit. If you're listening to this, you're a piece of shit, Chris. I hate you so much. You're fucking selling houses instead of riding bikes. What the fuck, man? What'd you do to yourself?
There's a few BMXers gone to real estate.
Yeah, I know.
What are we going to say to them all?
Fuck all y'all.
Heard it here first, people.
Yeah. Put the fucking rental prices down, you
That's
bastards.
right.
No, that's fine. Whatever. Get out of the game. That's fine. It's totally fine. I don't give a shit. Fucking dickheads.
Moving on from your jumps down in Lawson, like after you started sort of realizing how to build them and started to kind of build them up a little bit and stuff like that, when do you reckon you started sort of paying attention to BMX in terms of like videos and magazines and stuff, and then sort of trying to develop, you know, progressing yourselves and, you know, realizing that there's more to this than the local jumps and local track, and realizing there's a bit more of a BMX world out there?
Yeah, I think that was actually kind of by accident that I discovered that there was any like BMX world outside of what we were doing. Like, I don't know, it's kind of, I'm trying to fucking remember the timeline of like how this shit sort of happened. Like obviously we knew that the shit existed because of Hazelbrook, and people would come through there like fucking big teams, T1 and Jimmy Levan and, you know, all these fucking crazy gods.
Kenny Raggett,
fucking anodized red fucking redneck or whatever the fuck it is, you know, like doing Supermans in camouflage pants. I can't think of anything more sexy to me than that image of that man doing that trick on the third jump in front three at Hazelbrook, you know what I mean? That to me is the fucking mid-school of BMX, and then you could not fucking, I don't know, that's the fucking middle of it.
Definition.
Kenny Raggett doing a Superman on that jump is right in the middle of that time. What was the fucking question again?
More just, you know, like, I mean, outside of...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's coming to find sort of... we knew BMX was there, but I'd never really come into contact with anybody outside of, like, our immediate sort of group of mates that was doing it. And then, I guess a couple of years later, I was, like, 15 or something, and they had just built the skate park at Lawson.
Yeah.
And, like, we turned up there one day, and I, like... The way you used to walk up to Lawson skate park was up over this hill, and as you could come up over the hill, you could kind of catch like the tops of the quarter pipes in the distance. You know what I mean? Like you see the coping just sticking out of nowhere. Before you were able to see the coping, there was like this like real odd movement, like something sort of floating in the sky or something like that, like above the horizon of where I could see the false horizon before I could see the coping of the quarter pipe. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it clicked. I was like, that's someone airing the quarter pipe? Like, so we've like run up to the top of the hill, and it's Ben fucking Piggott just riding Lawson skate park. I think he was totally on his own, or he might have been up there with one or two other dudes or something like that. Young, I think Ben's a year or two older than me, but he was still fucking young. And he was airing a quarter pipe, which for the Blue Mountains was like, people just didn't do that shit, you know. Like everyone dug jumps. Nobody fucking aired quarter pipes. Nobody knew how to. Like, how the fuck do you do that? There was maybe a couple of guys at Glenbrook or whatever, but they were cut from a different cloth. It was the scenes were different in ways, I guess. Seeing that dude ride that fucking quarter pipe, I was like, oh my god. And so obviously we got talking and all this kind of shit, and like he explained to me that I was doing opposite tabletops. And I was like, what the fuck is opposite from what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, because you are left foot forward and shit. And I'd not noticed that I rode left foot forward. I didn't notice that there was I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, and then he's like, yeah, every time you ride, your left foot is forward. And that was the first time I was ever like introduced to even a concept of there being different ways that people ride bikes and shit like that. He kind of, like showed all of these like different types of, not rules and shit, but, you know, like knee over the top tube tabletops and stuff like that. And that was like a whole kind of concept that was introduced. Like we just thought it was like, I don't know, like we thought it was like inverts down at the jumps or whatever, like just you as flat as you could possibly get them or something like that, or knees pinched near the stem, you know, was a good thing or something like that.
I thought you had bow legs back then.
Well, I was doing them opposite. The whole thing was to...
You're doing the straight leg ones, the kind of standing up straight sort of...
No, man, I could fucking snap them.
You could snap
them. Yeah, I could fucking... I don't want to... I love that shit going opposite. And then this funny thing though, Ben kind of like showed me how to do like knees over tabletops to my regular way. And I started doing those and I was like, holy fuck, this is pretty cool. Okay, I can get used to doing this. Is like, you know, Justin Inman and shit and those guys, those Northwestern dudes, they're doing shit like that. That's cool. And then I thought, fuck this, I'm going to snap one of my regular ones, my opposite tables, the ones that I felt really comfortable with. And I did, and it blew both of my fucking feet off completely because my brain had just been like getting used to going the other way. Went to snap a normal one like usual and completely lost both of my fucking feet, nearly died. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know, that kind of threw me off. I don't know, I thought I was so cocky up until that point, and then I was just like, fuck, something I was so certain of went so horrifically wrong, and I didn't see it coming. And that was a hit. But I guess that was like my first real, I don't know, I don't know if it was that or it's hard, man. It's a lot of mixed up time around there where a lot of crazy, not bad shit, but a lot of shit was going on, you know. You're busy as a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
You go
I guess
13 to 15, you know, like
yeah.
where do you find out about the shit? Because it was around that same time we started going to all the jams and stuff. You know? We were quite young, going to the One World Band Jam up at Port Macquarie where we met you for the first time.
First time I met you, Port Macquarie. That was 2004 or I think 4. Yeah, so it was like 15 years ago.
Fuck, so I was 16 then.
Brakeless. Tall, brakeless kid with uncut down slam bars.
Yeah,
ripping that skate park.
Everyone chopped their bars back then, didn't they?
Yeah, everyone had cut down bars, and it was like, who's this kid with uncut down slam bars? He's fucking mean.
It's very big.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of lanky kid back then.
That actually happened by default, and then became a bit of a weird thing that I was connected to. Like, but you know, in my own head, like, oh, I run uncut slam bars. That's the thing I do now, like the NW guys. But it only happened by default because I'd ordered these bars from Dan's Comp, paid for them with my own money and shit. It was a fortune. And when they turned up, I went and grabbed the hacksaw to fucking cut them down. And my mum came out and went nuts at me. She was like,
cutting them down.
Yeah, she's like, hey, don't make them that size for fucking no reason. Like, just so you can fucking make them smaller.
You just paid how much?
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody chop half of them off.
Yeah, it was that entire spiel. And so I was like, fuck yeah, okay, I'll put them on, expecting to go to my mate's house that afternoon and fucking chop them down or whatever. And that didn't happen. They stayed uncut, and that was that. Actually, no, that's right. I fucking went, because I was living around the corner from Hazelbrook, and I went down and rode the jumps, and I was like, oh my God. I went from like the most cut down little tiny bars you could imagine.
I can control my bicycle.
Fully, man. I could not believe it. Like, I was doing turn downs and yanking the bars like well and truly past 180 and stuff. Like, I could not believe the amount of control I had compared to how it had felt. You know what I mean? Like, it was, I didn't know that was even possible, that you could change a bike part and it would change the feeling of your bike so drastically.
So that Port Macquarie Jam was the first event where heaps of crew, like you went to with heaps of crew?
Definitely, yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that was the first one.
Did that change your world?
It fucking blew me away. I'd never seen an indoor skate park before then, except in any magazines or whatever that we got to see up in the mountains, and it was fucking mind-boggling. The smell of it, the look of everything, the way that wood feels to ride under you rather than dirt or concrete.
Or crash on.
Exactly. Well, the whole thing, like, it's got this bounce. It feels like you're invincible. Like, it feels like you can fucking send anything and crash on it, and it's like a gym mat, you know? Like, that's the image that's how I felt going into that fucking place and seeing what, you know, all this shit. I thought it was the most amazing skate park in the world, and I think about it now, that fucking place sucked, you know? Like, walking in and there's that weird mini in the corner and then like the big deck and I don't know, it was just fucking like nothing compared to today's standards, but at the time it was just like mind blowing.
It was one of a few back
So
then.
pumped, man. Yeah, there were very few indoor parks around. I think what was the one in Penrith, Vertex or whatever?
Yeah.
That must have been shut down.
Vertex was gone by then.
Yeah.
It had gone to the M5.
No, the building's still there. But
it had gone, hadn't it?
Yeah, but they moved to Padstow, and Padstow ended in 2003.
Did too.
Which was and that was like
because me and Daly were talking to Matt about taking it on, and that's what started Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No shit.
I got my license the week Vertex closed down, so I got my P's. It was like I can finally take myself to the indoor park and ride till 10 p.m. and they fucking closed down. I had my license.
Well, Matt gave us the option to take the lease for nothing in the shop. He just was going to give us a park.
And it didn't happen.
Well, then me and Daly went, we have to spend 80 grand on wood to rebuild the park because no one's going to want to ride the same park again.
Plus insurance was probably crazy as well.
Oh, it wasn't bad because we'd been talking with the government about freestyle BMX and stuff. So we had a plan, but it was like, nah, it's not going to work out. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
indoor parks. There was not many indoor parks.
4 years later, we started the shop. So. Yeah. But
I digress.
Well, I guess going back to you growing up in the mountains, geographically, the mountains is not that far from Sydney.
It's not.
But when you're a kid, it's a fucking eternity away.
Mm-hmm.
And this is pre-internet, pre-smartphone, all that stuff. So, like, you guys, the mountains kind of crew, definitely sort of, you had your own sort of unique style, vibe, and just, you know, like, it was like a whole scene, you know? You go to the mountains and it was a different fucking thing than Sydney, you know?
Are we talking like getting a little bit later on now, like sort of around the Rowan's era kind of thing? Like,
yeah, I mean, in general, I mean,
right.
Up until the sort of modern era with everything. I mean, like,
because you were riding Hazo with all the fucking big timers, you know? Like
yeah,
all
I mean, I started going there in about 2002 or 3, 1, 2, 3, 2001 to 3, and then I think I was there for the last wave of its prime, like when, you know, Glenn Newland was there with his full drive and all the tools, and it was the most dialed. Yeah, and he was stoked to be part of it, stoked that he was letting you be there and giving it a hand. And then you had, you know, Stowaway brought over Jimmy Levan, Sebastian Keep, the federal guys, you know, Sandy Carlson and Ross Tanner and all those dudes. I was there that
afternoon.
And then a year later, T1 World Tour came through. I remember driving down the hill, down Oaklands Road, in my brown Peugeot, and then we fucking round the corner, and there's Joe Rich lining up for the front three. And he just cut off his dreads like a year before, and we saw the Joe Rich tattoos. And my friend I was with, Adam, was just, I'm trying to steer my car on the corner. He grabbed my arm off the wheel and goes, "That's fucking Joe Rich." And I was like, trying not to crash the car, you know.
That's fucking amazing.
And then, you know, so obviously that place in that era, like that, probably 2002 and 3, was kind of like the last wave of when that place was at its absolute, you know, probably the most famous trails in Australia at the time. You had a feature
I would
in
say
2020.
Fucking easily, man. Like that place was fucking incredible. Like, I mean, for the time, it was fucking incredible.
And big credit to Glenn for
absolutely.
Just, wow.
And the Douglas brothers as well, man.
Yeah,
like
well,
Mick and,
I raced
Mick
Mick
and
Douglas.
Jeff and shit, you know, all
I
those
raced
dudes.
against Mick.
And the other guys as well. There's a few dudes I can't remember their fucking names, and I really don't mean to be mean to be rude and not pay respect to those two dudes. But there's two dudes in particular, and I cannot fucking for the life of me remember your names right now. But those two dudes as well, who were you know, involved really, really early on, and they're absolutely responsible for fucking whatever I've fallen in love with and whatever's happened in my life. Those dudes drove it through. Like, they didn't know they were fucking driving it, but they did, and so I thank them endlessly for that, like that fucking gift of that spot. What a fucking thing to give to people. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful fucking thing,
and it still kind of lives on, which is cool. I mean, it's obviously
it's a legit spot now, isn't it?
It's got council sort of approval.
I got council approval for it in
knocked the boundaries.
2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that.
They gave me 4 days to organise a petition and shit for it.
This, yeah.
I think we got. There was like a Facebook group or something that ended up with like 700 people in the group. The petition was signed by like fucking God knows how many people. Well, not an internet petition, it's a fucking real petition.
Yeah.
And then there was like about 150 people, including like the locals, you know, like all the families that live around the jumps and shit, that turned out on the day that the councillor was there to inspect them. The councillor, like, responsible for sports and recreation, you know, like, this dude's like the fucking lamest chode you've ever come across. And he's like standing there in the middle of the jumps, and he's like, I came through here on Tuesday. There was nobody here. It doesn't look like anybody rides here. I was, mate, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, look at all, like, everything's beautifully groomed. It was like this fucking place was popping at this stage. Me and Liv were digging there fucking constantly. There were a few other dudes coming and going as they wanted, you know, but A lot of the OG group, Strat, fucking Pat, Kenner, all those dudes would come up and lend a hand. Donga, Daki, so many motherfuckers. Dan Levy, you know, he spent a lot of time down there, even though he fucking hated it. He hated riding dirt because he ate shit a lot of the time. But he fucking hated it, but he still came and dug because it's what everybody did, you know. I can't remember where I was going with that fucking point either. But
Well, it was sort of like the council sort of meeting to prove.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
all
so-
got together to prove that.
yeah, so we all turned up and the councillor's walking around. He asked me, so what way do you ride these things? Like, Hazelbrook runs fucking downhill to the bottom corner of that block, and he's asking me, what way do you ride these things? You know, like, oh, you ride them fucking uphill and then up that real steep fucking 15 feet high down ramp, and then you magically make yourself fly further up the hill onto this tiny little scoopy down ramp. Like, fuck off, man. Like, the fucking Minister for Sports and Recreation or whatever in the area has no fucking idea about bike jumps, and he's just about to bulldoze them.
It's
Like,
not on Fox Sports, man.
it blew my fucking mind though. I just could not fucking believe it. And then having the locals come out as well, particularly the ladies who lived across the road, who they were such a strong asset to have because they explained that there's been kids riding their bikes in there since the 70s, like since this fucking 1970s, man. They're like in this particular block, there's been kids riding there, but all the rest of it, and they
Pretty
were
good. They're still amped on it.
They were amazing. Not everybody was amazing, but there were quite a few that were unbelievable. There was some trouble with some of the properties closest to the jumps, and fair enough too. The colourblind fences, young kids rousing about.
People move next door to freaking pubs and shut down gigs. You know, that's
that's true. Yeah,
Luna Park.
similar
the
kind
Luna
of
Park syndrome.
similar kind of thing. It was weird, and then the council approved them, which was cool. But they to get people away from the fences of the neighbouring properties, they pulled in the boundary line or pulled it down the hill so that all the run-ins for any of the lines would have been uphill, like against the flow of the jumps. So, and then somehow into a 180 berm and then go back down the hill with zero. I don't know. It totally ruined it. Totally ruined the spot. And after that, I was happy to have gotten them taken care of or at least secured for some other generation. There was no fucking other generation. Who the fuck am I talking about? There was no other generation to take care of the fucking jumps, but I just had jack of it. I was just so fucking over it and sort of pretty burnt out at that stage at like trying to give a fuck about shit that there was no fucks getting given back, you know. It was just like pouring yourself into this constant, endless fucking battle. Finally winning that battle and then them having to fuck me over anyway. Like, you can keep the trails, but you can't have any space to fucking pedal into them or to ride towards them. You just have to start on the first one's up ramp.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we won't touch your jumps, but we'll touch all the ground before the jumps.
BMX is a tough one because, I mean, ultimately, like, why do we do it? We do it because we enjoy it as individuals. We can do it with friends, and we can do it. It's not a team sport. It's not like a community sport. Racing, maybe, to some extent. But if you're going to talk about riding trails or riding street or riding the park, it's what we get out of ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to rally a lot of people to get a movement to make big things happen. It's, you know, and I think I had to suck that up when I was pretty young as well.
Totally.
It's quite a hard thing to shove. Yeah, you're shoving stuff uphill. You are.
What was it that made you sort of realise?
Just being a kid, with jumps and skate parks or spots, stuff that gets shut down, even just getting kicked out of a spot for riding it.
Yeah.
You know, you're always pushing shit uphill to be able to do something. But yet, if you had the backing of a team or you had the backing of like I said, in a BMX club, you can make shit happen because you've got more people. And it's a hard thing to have to get around because you want to ride a bike by yourself. You're not riding a tandem.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not riding the fucking goodies bike with 4 people on it. And it's what you do by yourself. You know, and you can go and do it by yourself. And it's better to do it with your friends, but...
Well, we thought we were doing it by ourselves, you know? Like, we thought we were minding our own business, spending time in the bush, building jumps. Sure, we were drinking and shit, but we're not, like, graffitiing.
It's cool to do it by yourself. And you can go and do that in the bush by yourself, but you aren't going to get any support from a council. That's the thing.
I guess, I thought with Hazelbrook it'd be different, but I know better now, which is why my jump's fucking nowhere near Hazelbrook.
But it's in the Olympics, man. It's in the fucking Olympics. So
yeah, but fuck.
If kids can win gold medals, then you'll get some money. Yeah. Because the Australian government will pay money for gold medals.
Not for dirt.
For digging? I don't think anyone gives
For
a
winning a
fuck about
gold
digging.
medal, they'll pay whatever it takes.
Yeah,
You know,
but-
to win a rowing fucking gold medal, dudes who just like go the wrong direction, can't even see where they're going. They'll pay millions of bucks to try and win it, and they never fucking win it.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at the regatta centre.
Yeah,
Exact,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So what if that was trails?
No, yeah, I understand the
If
the
there's
theory
more-
behind it. for
And,
sure.
and there is a you know, it's just a roll of the dice. But what are the odds of us winning a gold medal in the Olympics? Pretty fucking good.
they must be pretty high because there's not too many competitors. You know,
Well,
We're only
technically,
allowed
there's-
8 people in the whole Olympics
What,
in
yeah.
freestyle, isn't it?
You don't reckon the
is that
Jamaican bobsled team will be pretty good at it?
at BMX.
Yeah. They'll make a movie about it.
They need to hustle.
No, they will need to hustle.
We've been training for this for fucking years.
I know. I mean that's the thing. And you were talking about how the Chinese are going to try and, you know.
They got Rob Darden, his BMX master Darden, being
Yeah.
paid by the Chinese government
Yeah.
to train
Yeah.
gymnasts to be
Yeah.
BMX athletes because they have air awareness, which is
Yeah.
insane. to
Yeah,
think
That's
about.
weird. That's weird shit that I just fucking do not connect with on any fucking level.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
like
Right?
that you can have like
Yeah,
fuck-
let's go.
Fucking Jesus Christ! All right, let's do it. So there's like, how can you have an Olympic like a fucking setting, right, where there's a bunch of people competing on bikes, and the people who judging the bike riding are people that have fucking lived bikes forever and ever and ever, and you have somebody out on the course who's like doesn't give a flying fuck whether they come first or whether they come last. I mean, obviously
No,
they
they do. They
fucking
wanna
do
win.
because they're at the
Yeah.
fucking Olympics and shit or whatever. Okay, like having somebody that has lived and breathed BMX and wanted nothing more than to ride a bike, maybe started riding out of fucking necessity, you know, like because you got to get the fuck away from your family.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's a need to ride your bike because it keeps you safe, because it keeps you out of harm's way and keeps you away from fucking home. You find your passion, you fall in love with it. Everything fucking happens perfectly for you, and then you find yourself somehow exalted in the Olympics. Fucking, you're in the finals, and you're coming up against somebody who took it up a year and a half ago and has been put in a fucking gym for 18 hours a day for the last year and a fucking half, and they're sitting right next to you.
They're not going to make the final.
Who the fuck do you think deserves it more?
Those kids aren't
Yeah.
going to make the final.
Do you think it's the
kid-
like? But that's it's the fucking. It's just so ridiculous. You
It
can't
is.
put BMX.
But that's
in
the
a contest
bullshit of
like
the
that.
Olympics, because every
That's
country
why I think it doesn't fucking belong there.
every country gets to have an athlete in it. There's those movies about it, like
Well,
Eddie the
only-
Eagle or
only
the
a few
Jamaican
countries
yeah,
bobsled
but
team.
no, but I
They're
didn't
gonna
start
be
riding
shit,
BMX bikes
but
to
they're
be
not
an
at that
athlete.
level.
I didn't
No,
want to be a
exactly.
fucking athlete.
Exactly, yeah,
I don't want to be
I get it.
associated with fucking athletes. That's why I did this shit.
The only
I
good
grew
thing
up looking
about
up
it-
to Christian Hosoi and fucking Vic Murphy and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, fucking Henry Rollins. Not fucking. If I wanted to be an athlete, I would have wanted to be like Pete Sampras or fucking Michael Jordan or what. You
Is
know what
tennis
I mean?
in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think it is, but you're not allowed to be professional. It's amateur, like boxing or something, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Does that mean Logan Martin and Lupos can't be in the Olympics?
I don't think we have the same.
Oh, they won't be able to have
sanctions.
a monster hat.
No way.
No
What do you
logos
think?
in the Olympics on your helmet.
No fucking way.
You have to wear
really?
that shitty Australian jersey, the
Are you
white. with
fucking
the-
serious?
Yeah,
That
they're
they're not
not-
allowed to wear logos in the Olympics? Fucking suck it, you dickheads.
You just
That's
got to get
amazing.
you just got to get tattoos of your sponsors.
Fuck! What a fucking bunch of dickheads.
Logan,
And-
can you
and as if
imagine-
you'd get a
Logan,
tattoo
Can
of
you
your
imagine
sponsor.
having tattoos
As
of
if
your
you'd
fucking
get a tattoo of your
sponsors?
Yeah, what fools we are.
Oh, fucking dickheads. How dare they? What, they don't think that company's just going to drop them in a second? Why the fuck would they go and mark their body forever with fucking bicycle companies? Like, what the fuck? They come and go with the drop of a hat.
All right, so the Olympics coming up. Kids could win a gold
It's
medal.
going down.
But does it matter? I mean, to BMX as a whole,
No, it doesn't matter at all.
does it matter? Can you
I don't
still
think
dig
so.
in the bush?
Fucking oath I can. That's
Can-
like, that's where I, you know, it's fun to get riled up and have a laugh and shit, but that's all
And
it
can
is.
little Johnny in year 7 get more pussies than the football fucking team?
Well, yeah, every day of the week, but he doesn't need the fucking Olympics to do that.
It's true, actually. It's true.
People are smart these days, man. They know football players are fucking scumbags. They always have been. They always will be.
Yeah.
Like, I actually read a funny piece of it was like advice from a suffragette, and she's like she's like don't hang around with. This is wedding advice for young women, by the way, from a suffragette. And she's saying like don't hang around with the boozers, with the people that like to spend time up at night. Football players, all this shit. And that was like fucking 150 years ago. It's old knowledge, man.
Was football around 150 years ago?
Yeah, dude, he was probably
They
kicking
didn't
around a
invent
stone.
balls.
Dude, it would have been a stone.
You wouldn't kick a stone.
Fucking oath
Think
they would.
about your toe.
Are you serious? Look at these fucking meatheads.
That's why they wear they kick the shit little air ball.
That's because they kept breaking their toe on the rock.
Pussy toes.
They were like, fuck, this is a slow game. Everyone's getting injured pretty quick. What can we do? We need a lighter rock. Somebody come up with a fucking lighter rock. Here's a lighter rock.
All right, back to the real stuff.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Yeah, going back to the timeline, I guess.
Back to prehistoric.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Hazelbrook aside, I mean, obviously the dynamic changed once they changed the boundaries and you fucking couldn't start in the same place.
Yeah,
And
it
it almost felt like flogging a dead horse trying to get that place working. I mean, I moved up there in 2012 and I think you were pretty much done by that point. You were kind of over it. And then I think Alex and I had a bit of a little push to try get some things. You were actually injured for a good portion of that year that I lived, first year I lived there.
Was I?
Yeah.
What the fuck was wrong with me then?
I don't remember, but I remember you.
I got broke off very often.
You kicked the ball.
A big stone ball and fucked his toe. But me and Alex tried to. We had a few heavy dig days in the rain to try maybe all those little rollers that kind of stuck. We kind of built that little dumb roll-in thing, kind of.
Which is still there now, actually. That track still is there now. It gets used, I think.
But it was like flogging a dead horse a little bit. It was sort of a little bit sort of done. I know some younger kids still went there and had a bit of a ride, and that still gets the odd fix up here and there. With Nathan Cousin and his son Bryn live around the corner. They do definitely put some work in there, which is cool.
And Ben as well. I know Benno Shark. I don't fucking know his real name, but he calls himself Benno Shark on the interweb, so... Shout out to that dude as well. He spends time digging. Actually, he just got the two big dogs at the end of the 46th line running. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so congratulations to him. Good on you, Ben. You fucking legend. He actually jumped the last one, which is something that we never really accomplished. Actually, no, I don't even know if he jumped it. Sorry, you suck, Ben. I don't even know if he jumped it. So, But he fucking really did.
Yeah, dialing back for probably just before that last incarnation of Hazelbrook when you were in there, I guess... Your mountains crew, which is probably around, not just after the time I met you guys, and kind of the end of the Wentworth Falls era. Mm-hmm. You had, yourself, you had Rowan, you had Daniel Levy. I guess there was Will on his mountain bike, 26 and 24-inch stuff. And you had jumps, Rathbone, and you had
Pat, Kenner. They were all
the jumps at Rowan's house, Saddle Clubs.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Tell us about that spot. I mean, that was a pretty short-lived little thing, but looked fucking rad.
It was kind of there for a little bit longer than it was like. Yeah, it was there for a while in a few different incarnations, I suppose. And at the end of it, or where it was like really fucking getting serious, I suppose. The 11-year-old kid next door had like just turned 11, which for him and his family meant that he was allowed to drive the 30-ton excavator that his father owned.
Boom,
bang. So first thing Ryan did was ask his kid to build him two jumps that were the size of the fucking moon each. Like these things were.
Yes.
You should have seen the fucking height of the down ramp on the second one. There was just no way you could build a kicker up to it.
How opportunistic.
It was hectic having this 11-year-old dude fucking driving around a 30-ton excavator, just like, what are you doing? He's fucking Irish or whatever. His name's Connor, lovely kid. He's probably an adult now, so sorry, Connor, but he was heaps young back
then.
Should
be running this country.
I used to fucking hate him too because I actually crashed in one of the berms at Rowan's, like real bad, like where you wash out and just go straight into the fucking face of the berm at high speed. I did that and I looked at like this kid was just pissing himself laughing at me, like genuinely laughing at the comedy of the slapstick of it or something like that. And I fucking took that to heart. I didn't let him know that I took it to heart, but fuck, I did. And that cut me deep for a long time. But anyway, so when he was digging the jumps in the excavator, that was pretty cool. We had some wild shit going on down there. They were really good, and they were getting to a point where I guess even on a like a national scale, they were like recognizable as some fucking jumps. There's still before like 2006ish, I think they. No, it was a bit later than that. But anyway, wasn't big on social media and that kind of crap, and it wasn't yet playing a huge part in people's lives at that point or anything. So there wasn't huge amounts of photos and things like that, but there were just sessions there fucking constantly. The jumps were amazing. They're never tarped. Like tarping jumps is something that's brand new in the mountains. Like, I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm the only country that digs in the mountains. Me and my fucking mates up there, Al and shit, right? And Mike. No other person digs up the mountains, so what am I talking about? Tarps never get used in the mountains. No fucking cunt uses a tarp except us, right? So there's nobody else digging. So
no,
I
use a shovel
like it's a fucking
general.
trend. Yeah. So anyway, I can't even what the fuck I was talking about then.
Saddle clubs.
Yeah, I'm getting there. So yeah, the jumps was just really starting to get to a point where they were amazing. They were taking care of themselves, and the lines were getting longer and longer. That's where tarps come in handy. Is that you're able to build longer lines because you don't have to maintain the shit at the start of the line anymore. It can be longer than 3 jumps long. We had gotten to some pretty fucking gnarly lines and shit like that, and the last down ramp on the last jump, which was a fucking long jump, which had a tall up ramp and a tall down ramp. Strat blasted the fuck out of that. Strat was a killer rider. Blasted the fuck out of that. Landed on super dry guy down ramp. This is where it all comes undone. Landed on that, washed out front wheel, hit his head with no helmet on, and got knocked the fuck out really, really badly. Like it was like real fucking scary. And after that, Rowan's parents, who I think his dad's a lawyer and his mum is just a lovely fucking woman, but obviously pretty responsible. They were like, all right, fuck this shit. We can't have kids coming in here fucking crashing and dying and shit in the yard. We're going to have to I was scrambling because this place was like my home, I just poured my heart into Hazelbrook or whatever and all these other places that had sort of gone and come and gone, I suppose. And then it was happening again, it was just another devastation to lose another spot because of semantics, Strat wasn't upset about the crash. He knew that this crash was like his responsibility or our responsibility for having dug the jumps. Nobody was putting pressure on anybody to tighten any rules or anything like that. And I don't know what was going on with Rowan's fucking personal life or anything like that at the time. But those jumps were kind of bulldozed by that same 30-ton excavator or something because they had to, I think, fix a horse arena, a horse fucking dressage training arena that was above where the jumps are. And so they drove the excavator over the jumps to go up and do that. And that was the end of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a ball terror. But that was actually one of the I had one of the first ever photos I shot while I was on S&M was down there doing a turn down on my dirt bike. I was super, super happy about that. Yeah. That's some fucking old shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, and so you got on S&M a pretty long time ago, back when S&M was distroed through ECI the first time. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's got to be, probably one of the raddest things. Not many people can be as, I guess, synonymous with a brand, especially in Australia. Because in Australia, people get chopped and changed quite often because distro changes.
It happened, man. To be honest, I kind of know now how I got put on in the first place. I through knowing Alex, and then kind of knowing Gorak, I guess, and I don't know, being
Alex is a medal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so they were under the same roof, and I think Alex had an ear in Gorak's, a word in Gorak's ear, and kind of was like, hey, let's do a bit of shake up of the team. He thought I fit the brand. Gorak thought I fit the brand or whatever. And I remember the night at I think he texted me, the rude prick. He didn't even call, right? I was at work, fucking cooking fucking dinner.
It's a phone call moment, not a text moment.
I know. And he fucking texted me, hey.
He wasn't breaking up with you.
Hey, what's your dream setup? And I wrote back to him dirt bikes, slam bars, pitchforks, all this shit. Why? What the fuck do you care? I haven't spoken to you in months. Fuck you giving me a call about? And he's like, oh, well, because I thought, I don't know, whatever, some Gorak way of going about letting me know that I was going to be sponsored by S&M from then on. And I fucking hit the roof. I could not fucking believe it. I went from having all my bikes stolen, having shitty bikes, all this kind of crap, and then from no fucking sponsor, no fucking nothing. I had a couple of photos in the mag.
You had a few photos in the mag.
That type of shit. And I might have been we might have put on an event or something like that, but it was from fucking nothing to, hey, here's a whole bunch of shit with the one fucking logo on it that you could never afford, that you looked up to for your whole fucking life. Yep. Here's all of it. Here, a frame and shit. It's like Australian sponsorship. It's not you're not fucking rolling in product or anything. But for me, that was and still now, I cannot fucking believe that ever happened. And I feel so fucking S&M growing up for me was oh my God. It was the shit it was the bike parts that you knew that you could trust, that only the best riders had, because they somehow had a connection to somebody who was fucking somehow, I don't know, getting them from America or something like that. Once you had that part, you never had to fucking worry about buying another part. Once you had pitchforks on your bike, you never had to fucking you never had to buy forks again. That was what the allure of the brand was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I had an opportunity to have all of that shit for fucking nothing. Like, yeah. And then it's like 10 years later and it's still sort of going on. And I don't know how the fuck that's managed to go on that long, like 5 distro changes and shit, or 4 or something, all this crazy shit. And like, yeah, somehow, I don't know. Maybe I don't take much from the brand. I try not to take much from the brand because I fucking believe in the quality of the product. I'd rather the product be in someone else's hands than mine because I fucking know that it's good. I know what I'm riding and I trust what I'm riding. If someone else is riding...
You've run a bike for a long time, don't you?
What's that?
You run a setup for quite a while. You don't
Yeah.
I'll
thrash
shop
it.
and change your setup.
No. I'll
You've
thrash
long
it.
time.
Yeah.
Your custom made, custom frame, it was 21.75. It was what, half dirt bike, half ATF.
ATF kind of thing, yeah.
You had that 4 or 5 years?
5 years, yeah. 5 years.
Do you reckon you need to spend time on a bike? You spend time on a setup, and if you do it for multi-years, you really start to be able to ride it good?
I kind of found the opposite with the custom. Like I used to be able to ride any bike, any size, didn't matter what it was, and I would ride it happily and figure out a way to ride it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but before
to ride around the limitation.
Yeah. Before I got sort of, I got a little menial sponsorship with a local bike shop called Life Cycles, and through them I was able to get a Metal Bikes Rebel contender frame. But before that, I was on this fucking secondhand Norco fucking something that had like a 16.5 inch back end and 19.5 inch fucking top tube, right? And that was the bike I was riding.
Top tube.
Well, but that was the bike I was riding in the shit that like John first ever put me in his videos, you know, like this really piece of shit old fucking bike and all this crap. And then like I had a slightly better bike through the Rebel Contender, and it was like that was the first ever American made frame I had. And
do you know Norco was in Rad? They had a factory rider in the movie Rad.
They what?
They're a big Canadian brand.
Really?
They're making chromoly bikes way back in the day. They had a factory rider in the movie Rad.
Alongside
Mongoose and Redline and GT.
Yeah, I know, but they were still shit.
Norco were killing it.
In
but they weren't
fucking
killing
mid-thousands,
it
they were shit.
That's true. You got me there.
Yeah, no, in the mid-thousands, they could fucking suck a bag of dicks.
Luke Medill rode from. They tried a disc brake on a race bike back then. It was heinous. It was
who was that other one? Kalen Young as well. He rode
That's
for
right.
Norco as well. And look how that went.
Double back here though.
He raced in the Olympics
Case.
in London.
No shit.
So did a dude with a name called Kamikaze though.
Kamikaze changed his name.
What am I going to think about racing after that?
Changed his name by default.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was fucking Kamikaze, man.
No wonder BMX doesn't get any fucking leverage.
Or pussy.
No pussy.
What do you do? Oh, I ride bikes. Oh, like my friend Kama.
Could I get your name?
I'm Kamikaze.
Wasn't he Kamikaze? He was Kamikaze twice. So his first name was Kamikaze, his surname was Kamikaze.
Couldn't he have had half? Hi,
or Kama and Kazi.
What's your last name, son? Your last name first. Kazi. Fuck. First name Kami. Fuck.
I'd rather kill myself than change my name to Kamikaze.
Yeah, let's end that here.
Maybe that makes me a Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Well, Kamikaze to avoid the fucking Kazi.
All right. Back to getting some coverage in magazines, dude. You've managed to do pretty well over the years.
Somehow, I don't know, you guys just kept putting me in the fucking magazines, and I thank you every single time for it. Like, I seriously did. If I didn't actually do it, I'm sure I sent an email that didn't make its way through saying thank you so much.
There wasn't any spam filters back then.
No, there wasn't. That's why I ended up in the fucking magazines.
And Google didn't exist when the Mac started. You do understand that.
Yeah, but I'm the perfect example of who you know, not what you know, to be honest.
You knew some good photographers.
I did know some great photographers. I was very fucking lucky.
You've had some good times. I mean, I've heard stories about getting photos. I mean, you had the interview, issue 45 maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was late in the piece. You were late getting to me, but that's fine. I don't think about that.
Well, I had to
I just look at
lay off because you had an interview in another mag.
I look at the 48 issues or whatever it was before me, and I go through and pick out the people in there and think, I wonder what it was.
But you'd had photos in there before that.
Interested Matt Holmes about him so much that he thought he would interview him before me, but... You know,
but we had to get the crew together. You had to have a photographer.
That's a joke, by the way. Fucking Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
So, the spread that, the interview that worked out in the mag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was going to go in Rebel Yell.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And that's why it got held off being in 2020 for so long.
Yeah, it was fucking. Those photos were fucking 4.5 years old or something by the time they came out in the mag, and that was another thing that totally just fucking pissed me off, broke me down about the whole system of trying to do it. Like, what's the fucking point? You go out and stress and do all this shit that you fucking, you want to do, but you're kind of on the border about it, or whatever it may be. Particularly shooting with Pollack is high pressure. I told you guys, I was talking earlier about how Pollack was meant to make a weekend at Rowan's Jumps when I was riding great. I was feeling really positive. Everything was going good. And he canned on the Friday that he was meant to come up or something like that. And then I didn't see him again for months and months and months. And by the time I next saw him, I developed like a love affair with fucking MDMA. And it like totally changed into a fucking piece of shit human being, and I wasn't able to ride to the abilities that I wanted to. I didn't show shit that I wanted to do, and all that fucking stress and all of that fucking shit, getting the jumps right. And then he wasn't ready, and then he's fucking ready and I'm not ready. All this fucking bullshit. And then the photos get sat on for fucking years, and then you just wait for years and years and years, and there's just nothing happening. Like, no one else wants to do anything with you because you're meant to have this thing in Rebel Yell that's never coming out, literally never coming out.
It frustrated me as much as you, I reckon.
Man, he's not going to release the photos because he
photos
doesn't know if he wants to fucking do it. Yeah. I know, he's fucking amazing, right? Like, he took the good photos. He took great photos, not releasing them and shit like that. And that pissed me off because I had other shit that I wanted to be doing on my bike. I wanted to move past that point.
It's like a step. You need that stuff done.
I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to get to the next step because there was fucking 5 years of umming and ahhing and bullshit before the fucking interview came out. By then, I was a fucking drug addict. I wasn't riding fucking every day, living and breathing BMX. I was fucking partying, thinking that was.
It's a hard time, man. I mean, I've seen so many people go through that time. You're 16 to 18. So many kids I knew shredded, and they hit 18. You can get a license, you can drink alcohol, you can vote, you probably got a girlfriend by then. You buy your car. It culls the fucking BMX field like that quickly. Kid at 16, 17, possibly the best in the world.
Yeah.
Just culls, and you've only got a few crew left to ride at 18 years old.
That's fucking true. You got even less than 30.
Yeah, it's very true. You've smashed some hard yards in your time going through that phase.
Yeah, it was a bit, I went through it, I guess, at a bit of a different time as well. Like, I was late because I was I was just like 100% on BMX, right? Like, it wasn't that I was focused on BMX or making, like, through BMX, but through BMX I was having fun, and I was meeting people that liked me and people that fucking wanted to hang out.
It
people
defines you, man.
That I loved, meeting all these guys and shit that I just they're the sickest motherfuckers in the world, like the best people to hang out with. There was nothing else in the world that was even coming, like, that was providing that type of entertainment for me in any kind of way, and like to have that somehow soured by some outside influences and shit like that, and then like. Yeah, I don't know. That turns into the partying with the friendship aspect of having the BMX stuff. You start hanging out. Fuck the bike. We're just good mates anyway, right? Like, we're fucking bros and all that type of thing. And then, you're just partying more and more and more. Like I was saying, I got into that a bit later. Like, I don't think I fucking did ecstasy until I was like 23 or something like that. Or MDMA, I should say. But when I did, it was like...
mind blowing.
Motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I thought I'd felt love in my life and all that type of shit. No fucking way.
It should probably be legal, really.
They should be doing something with it because it connects people. It can connect you to shit that you've never felt connected to. It was designed for
marriage counselling.
No shit.
That's what it was designed for.
Yeah, right.
They're using it now big time. They're studying it hard. They're trying to make it legal.
Yeah,
they're
like
using it for
PTSD
for veterans coming back from war. It's got massive... It works really quickly.
I could not believe my like heart could feel so much. I could feel so, or that I could see such beauty in the world. I'd never ever seen the world in a way like that ever. And it's not a hallucinogenic drug, but it just makes you fall in love with this shit.
Yeah.
And I had absolutely fallen in love with how it made me feel. But fuck me swinging. It's not a good thing to fall in love with like that, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't love you back.
It's got a place in it. I think it's got a use by date as well.
Oh, fucking
in
oath.
your life.
Yeah. That's that on-off switch that I lack. I don't turn it off. You know,
That's a
like
tough one to learn,
I
man.
just keep going. You know, I just want to keep chasing that high. Chase that high many nights. You know, like it wasn't always fucking sober sunshine. You know, like chasing that fucking high on your own.
Well, talking
pretty
that, you've been sober for a while now.
I have, yeah. I've been like sober. I haven't had a drink since the 30th of June 2017.
And you're feeling good.
I feel fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. Every fucking day is just like I also have depression and shit. Every fucking day sucks balls. Like there's so much shit going on in my fucking life that it makes me fucking hate the fact that this is it. This is the existence. This is the one shot. But not drinking makes me excited to face all of that shit because I know that at the end of that day, I'm stronger for having gone through it. Alcohol is a perfect way to be like, fuck all that shit. Fuck all the hard shit that I got to do. Fuck all the hard shit that I got to go through. I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to fucking sit here and do this thing or whatever. And you can do that for as long as you fucking want, but it doesn't change the fact that you're just going to have to go through it at some point. Yeah. When the fuck are you going to go through it? That's the choice that you have to make, I suppose, or at some point a penny drops or something like that. For me, that was giving myself distance from alcohol, enough distance that I see alcoholism or abuse of alcohol as like a bubble. When you're in the bubble of alcohol use, you can't see negative ramifications because, and I'm talking, like, I don't think it has to be regular or drastic amounts of alcohol that change the way that you feel about it because you're in the bubble. If you're in the alcohol culture bubble, you are constantly drawn to it through all of the, you know, cultural associations, celebration, and all the fucking rest of it, and all that kind of shit. But it keeps you fucking retarded to what it's actually doing it to. It's fucking poison. Like, I guarantee it slows you down. If you drink a couple of beers a week, you're dumber for having drunk those couple of beers a week than if you fucking distance yourself. Being outside of the bubble after however many months sober it was, and it's different for everyone, I'm sure. But I fucking knew when I wasn't drinking anymore. I fucking knew when I had control of it. I fucking knew when I wasn't an addict anymore. It's hard to say not an addict anymore because I don't drink. Whereas like if I wasn't an addict, I'd be able to drink and it wouldn't be a problem or something like that, right? But I don't know if that's how I see it. I just fucking don't want to go back in that bubble ever again.
How long did it take, do you reckon? Like a month, 2 months, 90 days till it's clicked?
For me, okay, so like 30th of June, I was given an ultimatum by my partner. We had a 2-month-old baby.
You're a father now. Yeah.
3.5-month-old baby together. And she kind of gave me an ultimatum, like, you have to cut this shit out or you know, you can't be in the kid's life kind of thing, or I can't be around you anymore. You're a danger. You're a fucking liability. And I was. I kind of took that ultimatum and I decided that, okay, I'm going to give it a bit of a shot. And kind of thinking in the back of my head, like, you know, fuck her. Like, I'll probably go back to drinking. I'll be sober for a few weeks or something like that, and then probably, you know, go back to drinking. That was my usual pattern.
Yeah.
If I, and that was a serious effort to get to a few weeks. But if I could do that, then I could show her that I could, whatever. And then like 4 days after I got sober, I got sent to jail. And so going to jail, I was only in there for just under a month. Going to jail gave me the distance that I needed between myself and alcohol. Then when I got out of jail on appeal, that night I really, really wanted to drink. And I was dead set on getting out and having beers for sure, man. Like I was talking to motherfuckers in the cell about it.
That's the pattern, isn't it? It's a straight pattern.
Everyone's talking to you about how relaxing it's going to be, man. You get out, you're going to have a beer, you're going to have a smoke, all that shit. And then I got out and I was super, super keen for it, but sorry, we got to edit that out. My partner suggested to me, don't fucking drink. Just put it off for one night and just see how you go. And that I was like, yeah, okay, no worries. Fully aware in my head that I was going to take money that I had already seen in the shrapnel jar on the counter and go up to the shop and buy some fucking booze with it. Fully aware that I was going to do that. I took the money out of the jar, told her I had to go for a walk because I just couldn't believe that I was outside. I couldn't believe I was out of jail, you know, like this, like fucking jail is all encompassing, by the way, to anyone who hasn't been in there. It's fucking horrific. I was outside and I was like, you know, I used that as an excuse to get away from the house. I'm going to go for a walk, experience this freedom and do all this shit. And I took the money out of the fucking jar, which I knew I was taking up there to buy some fucking alcohol, and I could have done it. Like, it was in my hand. I could have got away with it, got out of the house without even the coins jingling in my pocket, you know? And I walked up, and as I was passing the bottle shop, I fucking stopped. And I stopped myself going in the bottle shop, and I didn't buy alcohol. This is the first time I have ever taken control of it, ever. And ever since then, I called you fucking 2 minutes after I made that decision. And ever since then, I've been in control of it. It's never, ever been an issue for me since then. And I've been to everything, weddings, funerals, every fucking party you could possibly imagine, drug parties, other parties, everything you could possibly fucking imagine. And alcohol's just not a thing in my life. Because it's just not now.
And that's a massive credit to you, dude. I mean, yeah.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't know, fuck. A lot of shit happened. A lot of shit was going on around that time, you know, like that fucking the end of that S&M trip and shit like that, like all that crap. A lot of shit was shit storming together around then, and it was like really time to sort of shit or get off the pot. Like I honestly don't count myself being here now if I hadn't stopped drinking when I did. So I guess it's like a stars aligning type thing. And I definitely take the positive out of all of those negative experiences that contributed to me having to stay away from alcohol, you know, I didn't give myself the distance, but having that distance between myself and alcohol forced on me by jail was yeah, fucking incredible. Also getting to see what it's fucking like beneath the surface of society is fucking horrific. It makes you really not want to be a part of that. And so, yeah, that was amazing. That opened my eyes to a lot of shit and gave me a lot of drive in the beginning when I needed it. There wasn't really many people, you know, I don't know. It's a very lonely fucking thing being an alcoholic as well. You burn everybody, fuck everybody off, and you treat everybody like shit and all that kind of thing. And you wrap it up in booze, you know, and you just coddle yourself and you tell yourself it's fine, fucking all that kind of crap. You just destroy people constantly. You don't give a flying fuck about anybody's. And so when you're that alcoholic that gets to rock bottom, who's, you know, you've got nothing, no one, and all the rest of it, you have no one. There's fucking nobody there because you've been a cunt to everybody. So it's like you have to very slowly, I don't know, build yourself up or something like that. Or
you built something amazing though. You got a daughter now.
Yeah, I do. She's fucking incredible.
And that's what you built.
Oh yeah, man. Like she's amazing, but like she'd be amazing if I was an alcoholic or not. You know,
That should be a lot more amazing because you're not.
Well, I want to experience that through not being an alcoholic. Like, yeah, regardless of I guess, positioning, at least I'll know that I was there for it. You know, I'll fucking remember her growing up. I'm not going to crash the fucking car with the kid in it. You know what I mean? Like, every decision that I make for her life and my life and shit like that is a deliberate, reasonably well thought out decision, you know? Like, it's not like alcohol's fucking crazy. You make the craziest, most rash decisions ever, you know? I've fucking ruined relationship after relationship, you know, lovely woman after lovely woman, fucking just destroying these people because I was a fucking pisshead and had no idea how. I did have an idea, but I just didn't give a fuck about anything because that's just what it did to me. I don't know. And that was the freedom I found in it. That was the freedom I needed to not give a fuck because I'd been, I guess, guilted my whole life. Alcohol took me away from guilt. That was where my joy was, I guess. And now I found joy somewhere else, I guess, in digging.
Yeah.
So the new trails you're building, I guess that's an upside to this. You've built some of the most amazing trails and mountains I've ever seen. I don't think Hazo in its prime is even close to what's going down.
No, Hazo in its prime is suck a bag compared to what I'm doing now, Glenn Newland, you piece of crap.
So
right?
maybe,
Amateur.
So maybe the decisions
old washed up man
you used to make with the shovel were tainted, and nowadays you got something going on.
That's it. Well, now that I don't have to watch that horrible old man dig his jumps and throw his rocks around.
Hey, he built a lip that Fuzzy Hall rode at the X Games.
Yeah, I've heard about
and
this
Fuzzy
lip.
loved this jump. It
It's
was a
true.
beautiful jump, and Fuzzy was shredding it.
Fuzzy probably would be
And
stoked
Glenn
no matter
did
what.
definitely tell us about it many times, but Glenn's the best.
I have heard. No, he is, and everything I say about Glenn, other than love, is a joke. So sorry, Glenn, love you, and I've always looked up to you, and thank you for letting me be a part of anything to do with Hazelbrook. Again, I appreciate it massively. I actually appreciate all of the elder writers that have ever passed anything down to us. You know, like fuck, we owe a lot to the older generation. I'm saying that from my generation's point of view. You guys are older again, so anyone who's younger than me who doesn't say that shit to you guys, they can fucking go and eat a bag of dicks, 'cause that's rude.
Some of the kids coming up. No, it's interesting. You know, some of the kids coming up. We were just talking about the other day. Like we got little Brandon Lupos, who I'm pretty amped on how he looks up to a lot of the older generation.
Well, yeah, he's
Brandon
I wouldn't
Lupos?
have expected it.
Brandon Lupos?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He seems like a kind of nice dude sometimes.
dude,
Like I'm
he's-
not talking shit on the dude, you know. I've only met him a few times, but yeah, like from in the small interactions we've had, sometimes he comes across really nice, sometimes comes across quite busy.
He had to see Ammon's ass.
He what?
He had to see Ammon's ass.
Yeah, but who hasn't seen Evan's ass? Fuck.
I know, but he had to see it in halfway to a
He
front.
had a
flip.
front flip over Am and
Yeah,
naked
that's true.
butt.
And
front
that's
flip.
pretty confronting
Front flip over
because
Ammon's
you're basically
ass.
shoving your face straight into it.
I've fucking been pretty close to Ammon's ass before. Spent some pretty loose weekends.
This isn't a
together.
triathlete podcast, so let's just leave that there.
Ah, fuck.
Sorry.
I wasn't trying.
I think that was my fault.
Get it? Triathlete.
But I guess if you want to chat a little bit about what you got going on with Red Rum and the new spot. I mean, basically, I remember you invited me up there when the place was still pretty fresh.
Mm-hmm,
And in the
invited
last
the entire Australian S&M team through there when the place was pretty fucking fresh, actually.
yes,
Tom.
well, yeah,
Hadn't even jumped the jumps, and then had the S&M team come through. We found out 24 hours before you guys all arrived that the third jump was actually a full bike length and a half too long. So we had 24 hours to completely knock down and rebuild this up ramp, which Alistair Hayes, who is a fucking workhorse genius on a bike, lovely man, he managed to do that almost single-handedly, completely knocked down and rebuild this up ramp almost on his own, because I was too busy being a narcissist taking photos with James Fox off in the bush or whatever the fuck it was we were doing. And now I got stuck into fucking slapping this up ramp in, and the next day it was getting threed by Will Gunn and all the rest of it. So
That was a
he
good
fucking did a
session,
good
man.
job, man. He did a good job. The jumps have since changed from then, you know, like they're getting wild now, deeper in the ground and higher out of the ground and longer and steeper and stuff, and changing shapes and all the rest of it. But I just want to, like, it's the line that we're building is kind of, like, for me anyways, like it was something of a fucking magnum opus or something like that. In that it's the best shit I've ever dug in my entire life. It's well thought out, well distanced, and like it's fucking perfect. It's just exactly what I want to fucking, what I've always wanted to, not what I've always wanted to ride, because those tastes always change, you know, they always evolve, which is why trails are perfect. You can build your evolving tastes as they come, which is what this line is, and it's getting to a point where it's kind of fucking out of hand now. Yeah, like, you're going fucking quick, and like the jumps are tall, and then they go really high, and it's sick, man. Like it's everything that I wanted in a set of jumps, and probably more. You know, like the hip at the bottom of the line at the moment. I like buried my little brother's ashes into the up ramp of that as a bit of a homage to him in the way that he lived his life, and he was so fucking loose, and he sent it so hard, and all that type of shit, and like having that sort of represented for me in an up ramp is such a weird thing, but it's so fucking perfect. It's like, it's kind of like a tombstone. It fucking sends you. It's absolutely perfect. Like, it's amazing. It's about the same height he was as well as a dude, which I find like pretty
wow.
incredible. And it's somewhere that because he was cremated, it's somewhere that I can go and, you know, I've got his ashes at home and shit, but I got to do some stuff with them, and my dad's ashes together, like they're going to go and fucking do some shit or whatever. But having that spot that's like, that's one thing that I can go to. He doesn't have a grave or anything like that, you know, so it's like I can go there and sit there next to that up ramp, and I know that like there's no soul or whatever, but there's that closeness, there's that feeling of physical closeness to the, you know, there's bone fragments and shit in the ash, right? Like there's like actual bits of him, and you can be close to that. And I get a lot out of feeling that. Like I was always really super close to my little brother, and now that he's like dead, it's fucking I miss that a lot. And so to be able to get that literal physical closeness is super important to me, and that exists in that jump. Definitely. You know, it means the world to be able to have jumped it, and to all the guys that have helped dig on that jump, particularly the down ramp. The up ramp I did pretty much all on my own, but that was because I kind of wanted to, and I asked the guys if they could not fuck around with it too much. But the down ramp and the guys who helped out in there, like, fuck me dead. They built something beautiful on that down ramp. It just catches you perfectly. It is a perfect accompaniment to the up ramp, and it is inch perfect in terms of distance and height. It's fucking beautiful. It's the most amazing jump I've ever dug. And for everyone that helped, thanks for fucking digging that shit. Like, that's the type of shit I want to dig. That stuff that's like, when you, I don't know, for me, riding it means so much more than just riding some fucking jumps, you know. But for anyone else riding them, it's like they get cool jumps. It's fucking sick. For me, it's like an emotional roller coaster through the bush, you know. Definitely. Like, oh God, what am I doing? Like,
and digging's always been a fairly personal thing for everybody. Everyone takes takes different things from digging their own jumps, and I guess, and having their own little almost haven in the bush, you know, doing their thing. It means different things to different people, I guess. And your new spot, and the fact you have started it from scratch on you guys, on you know, like, you've been there from the start, as opposed to coming into another set of jumps like Hazelbrook that have already existed. This is your journey.
And that was a fucking commitment to, like. Sorry, you go on. I'm just
basically crediting you for, you know, in the last 18 months how much that place has grown. You can tell from your Instagram posts and everything how much you love it, it's
a fucking
amazing, dude.
Yeah, that place is pretty hectic, man. Like, it fucking helped me through some serious shit. I actually wanted to call that line, I wanted to call it sober, because when I first started digging it, I dug myself sober. I didn't have a drink for like 3 weeks, and I thought I was sober, and I was like, that's a fucking sick name for a fucking line, right? Sick, man. Like, I'll call it sober, and I'll never drink again. And then, of course, I fell off the wagon or whatever, and heaps of bad shit started going on in my life, and I was doing terrible things and all the rest of it, got in a lot of trouble. And then I remembered almost immediately afterwards that you don't name fucking lines in Australia. Like, they're just jumps in the fucking bush. You don't call the fucking, this is Poppet, and this is, I'm going to go down Charleston this time. Like, what? No, you're not. You just ride down fucking jump. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't happen up there.
It's your space.
Yeah,
especially when you're up.
We just had 4-pack, the front three, and it's like having the states fucking called Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria versus Western Australia because it's on the west of Australia, the Northern Territory because it's in the north, and the South Australia because it's in south. Yeah. It's kind of it's like that, you know. Like, you have the front three because they're the front three jumps at Hazelbrook. You have the small 4-pack because they are the smaller pack of 4 jumps. Yeah. And the big 6-pack because they are 6 bigger jumps. So it kind of makes sense. I don't know. I just naming lines I find hard. It was even hard to give the jumps a name. But I think I was drinking then, so I stuck with it. Pretty stubborn when I drink.
And the dirt, that magical red.
Yeah, when
red
it rains.
Soil.
Yeah, when it rains, it fucking looks unbelievable.
But that line, when you're hitting it full speed, it's got some speed.
Oh yeah.
There's some space there for you mentally in the air.
There is, yeah. It's slowly coming back. Yeah, that or learning that that's the time to be free of everything. You know, like learning that this is now the time. Don't stress about other times not being the times where, you know, you're stress free and all that kind of thing.
You're fucking case if you start thinking about that stuff.
That's it, man. I was fucking overthinking BMX problem. And getting sketchy as for so fucking long, man. Like just overthinking it. Why? You don't need to overthink it. You just fucking just do it. Let your body do it, right? Like, they're the best rides in the world where you don't think about shit. I've had the fucking worst rides of my life overthinking shit.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about outside fucking factors.
You're not there. You're not present on your bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just ride your bike. You know, like through whatever means it is. Get that feeling of nothing. It's like slacklining. Oddly, has the same kind of feeling around like the success to do it. Like when you're balancing on the slack line and shit like that, you really do have nothing going on in your head. It's really quite a weird feeling, but it's almost exactly the same as BMX in that way. Like when you're doing it right, you're not thinking about it. But then when you're trying to focus on balancing and shit, you can't balance. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking. I don't know if you guys slackline at all, but
Tried it once and I fell off.
you're thinking about it too much, man.
terrible.
I did it
Fucking
in a
idiot.
pool.
Just go
I
with
did it in a
it.
pool a couple of months ago with Zoe from Butler Televisions.
Yeah, no
He put one out across his pool. I walked like 2 steps, like fuck this.
Fucking impossible, right?
Yeah.
You just don't think about it. You just like. I don't
I'd
know,
like
it's just
rather
weird
try and ride my
enough
bike across it. To be
Yeah,
easier.
yeah. They did that on Fear Factor once.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good dude actually did it. Like they try the contestants. Contestants
Danny
eat shit.
McCaskill.
Probably actually. It's a fair few years ago, but yeah, he fucking nailed it.
Damn.
What are the chances of a wee break?
Yeah, I think we might need.
Do it.
Can we do a wee break?
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I think we all need one.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'll fucking jump back. I'll jump in real quick and just like fill you in for. So the last shit that we were doing together in terms of BMX and stuff like that was the S&M trip, right? And like, so that S&M trip, I made a complete fucking jackass of myself the whole fucking trip. And I'm sorry about the shit that I said to you and Bevan in the car. I'm sorry to Bevan actually, just in general for being such a fucking mess. I don't think I did anything that was particularly rude, but I was just very embarrassed by my behaviour. After that trip, when I broke my arm, like fucking broke my arm 2 weeks before I was due to have my baby, right? Not me, my partner was going to have our baby. So I break my arm. 2 weeks later, I have Freddie. 2 months after that, I get caught drink driving. 2 months after that, I get sent to jail, and that's just as I was able to go back to work from the surgery on my broken arm. So that whole time, 3 fucking months or whatever it was, I wasn't making a cent. So every cent we were spending, I was borrowing from people and shit like that. So we were in this massive, massive fucking hole. And then when the baby's 4 months old, bang, judge sends me to fucking jail, sentenced me to 6 months, right? Which is fucking nuts. And by the way, for anybody who is listening, don't fucking drink drive. I went to jail, got sentenced to 6 months and got let out on appeal after a month or whatever, just under a month. But that is the recommended sentence to hand down by judges to anybody who's caught high range drink driving. That's what they're going to sentence you to, 6 months. So don't fucking do it. Don't fucking drink drive. It's just like mine was a first offence, 1 charge of high range drink driving. No other charges, no fucking reckless driving, no abusing police, none of that shit. I pulled over, breathed into the bag, and got sentenced to 6 months in jail. That's going to happen to fucking anybody who blows high range. That's just the way it is. So don't fucking do that. Don't fucking do that at all. So I go to jail, start getting sober, everything's working pretty well. And then 11 months ago, my younger brother at 25 hangs himself and kills himself for apparently no fucking reason, completely out of the blue. And for the last 11 months, dealing with that has like opened my eyes up to like that's where digging at the jumps got kind of serious and a bit more artistic and meant a bit more to me and things like that, to build what I wanted to build in a certain way with a certain level of discipline and passion and aggression in the way that I was digging. It was an outlet for all of that, and I wanted to translate so much of what he was unable to translate in his life into this sort of line through writing and stuff like that. And that's been the massive driving force at the moment. Like as I'm getting older and my back's fucked, I'm due for some fucking surgery on that and all this stupid shit. I don't focus on any of that crap because it's for how fleeting life is and how fucking unbelievably unpredictable it is. You need to be ready to face all of that shit at the start of every fucking day that you wake up. So having the mental strength, the emotional strength to know in yourself that that day could be the day that your partner dies. That day could be the day that your brother dies or your mum or your fucking kid or whatever the fuck it is. Charge into that day because it's the same amount of risk of them dying that day as any other fucking day. So why the fuck not just absolutely smash it out, go in fucking ready, always prepared and always like eyes open, you know, like looking forward, fucking always looking forward and moving forward, always trying to better yourself for yourself, not for anyone else. Like, fuck all the ego shit, fuck all that crap. Your mission to feel better if you're, you know, a depressive person or cynically inclined even, you know, like cynicism can turn into like abject pessimism if you're not careful, you know, especially if you add alcohol and things like that and you're around similarly minded people. You can drive each other into a pretty deep, dark fucking hole. So being prepared and open to the fact that the worst fucking shit can go wrong at any fucking minute, knowing that it's gonna happen. The worst shit you could possibly imagine is probably gonna happen. You might as well face that, accept that, and then you can go on living your life, being more productive and getting more out of each day. I find anyway, it makes each day more enjoyable for me, knowing that it's, you know, it is fleeting and that it is such a fragile little thing, that why not exploit all of those wonderful fucking things that we do get to have through the experience of it all, you know, all the bad and all the bullshit, all the fucking horrible shit is okay as well. Like, that's just normal, that's okay. Sort of water under the bridge type thing. Always be moving forward. Always, I just kind of wanted to say that. I guess, like, it's hard to sort of say this without prompting on a like in a setting like this, but like, from that moment, sort of like, 2 years ago kind of thing, I guess, when Fred was born, or, you know, a couple of weeks before that, pretty much 2 years ago now, we were on that trip or something like that, right? Or close
Roughly,
to.
yeah. It was about February-ish, so yeah.
Yeah, but just before, like, when I broke my arm, and for the couple of months after that, it actually, like, for fucking years, this has been developing for years in me, like, but I was drinking well over 50 standard drinks a day, every single fucking day, and taking, I would say, 60 to 80 over-the-counter paracetamol codeine tablets every single fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, going to different chemists and shit like that so that they wouldn't fucking stop selling it to you and all this kind of crap. You can be that fucked up. You can be so far up shit creek, and still you can come back from that. You can be okay. You can find positivity. You can find happiness, and you can find meaning without having to rely on those same old patterns that you always have. If you're that type of person, you know, if you are that type of person, I know there's plenty of fucking dudes that have reached out to me through Instagram and shit like that, wanting not advice or whatever, but maybe just like wanting a chat or just some sort of contact with somebody that's like been there at that bottom, at that fucking, I'm to rock fucking bottom, that's been there, and that's like, I'm not dead. I didn't fucking kill myself. My brother hit his rock bottom and he fucking killed himself, right? I didn't kill myself. I'm still here. I'm still kicking, and I'm enjoying it. I love the fact that I get to live my life with his memory pushing through in me, because that's him coming through me, you know? Like, I live my life in the way that I know that he was psyched for me to live my life happily, healthily, you know, and with a fucking serious need to take advantage of the time and the talents and skills or whatever it is that you've got. Exploit those about yourself. Exploit your mental strengths. Exploit your physical strengths if you have them. Do the absolute fucking best that you can, and love every fucking minute of it. Whether it's good or bad, it's 100% just what it is meant to be. There's not, you know, not in a weird fake way or religious way or anything like that. But for how fucking, yeah, it's, I mean, you fucking know what it's like to go through crazy shit. Like, you've fucking had cancer and shit like that. Like, that's so fucking gnarly. I haven't had cancer. I don't know what that's like to face my own mortality in a way like that.
You faced it your own way, and it's a different. We got our own stories. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
there's
it's
no
like
comparing this stuff.
You know, in just a couple of years, and it's just a couple of years. Not every day in that couple of years is a fucking struggle at all. Like I said, you know, it was the night that I got out of jail. So I've been sober for for fucking 27 days or something like that, including like the 4 days before I went into jail. Like, I still wanted to drink then. Like, I still really, really wanted to drink then. Since then forward, it's been like fucking amazing. You just have to make that decision for yourself, that controlling decision of your own life, where you can master yourself, master your own life and take control, that's where you find that fucking power to do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter what it is that stands, like, it doesn't matter whatever it is that stands in your way. What I mean is you find a way to enjoy it, regardless of what it is, negative or positive. You find a way to be okay with whatever it is that's happening. And so, yeah, I guess for me, I've found that through having, you know, all of everything that I've ever wanted and loved and everything taken away from me and stripped away from me in one way or another. And then being in jail, where it's like they literally fucking do that to you. They literally strip you fucking bare. They take away all of your personality, all of who you are as a person. Everything that you identify as a human being is taken away from you, so that you're nothing but a sack of fucking, you're a cock and balls in a fucking green jumpsuit, walking around the same as every other fucking dickhead in there. You're nothing more than that. And so rebuilding is super important. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to be? How do you want to interpret the messages that the world gives you? And it's up to you. When you have that blank canvas, maybe it's easy to then sort of build the painting that you wished you had painted the first time, you know? Yeah. Maybe it is about that or something like that. But I think it's important, and I think that's an important thing that I wanted to say to, particularly to a lot of those guys that do talk to me on the gram and shit, and in, you know, in real life as well, that it's never ever too fucking late. Like, that gets said so many fucking times, and it's such a stupid cliche and all that type of shit. But from being on the outside of the fucking hand railing at Echo Point, ready to fucking jump, to where I'm at now, is like,
it's worlds apart, isn't it?
I could not fucking imagine being that guy, you know, and being so fucking troubled and all that shit, and not having anybody to, feeling like I didn't have anybody to confide in or whatever the fuck it is, you know. You find that strength within yourself, because like, no one else is going to fucking be there eventually, and you have to develop the strength to handle all those situations on your own, whether you want to or not. You have to do that. You have to become mentally tenacious, like physically ready for, you know, whatever physical encounters you come into and all that kind of shit. But the mental preparedness is something that's just so fucking important. Like, fucking just, yeah, I don't know, like,
we're not taught anything about that growing up, are we?
Not at all, man.
Schools teach us what? Math?
Schools teach you about a set of particular skills that are only applicable if fucking everything goes perfectly well. If everything goes right.
They're not preparing us for much.
It's not life that you get prepared for. No. It's this perfect fucking nuclear family style 1950s vision of the fucking future, you know? Yeah. Like, go to university and then you come out of that and you have a job that's worth so much money you can pay off the debts you've accrued while you were studying.
It's a Ponzi scheme, man.
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, going back a little bit, you're talking about some people that have reached out to you, obviously from some bad spots.
Just drop some names.
Is that no, I don't want that. I want to say more to you. Like, is that a lot to take on board?
Sometimes, yeah, it is.
It's a confronting thing, I think, to suddenly have someone then, if you've been in a spot, to unload on you. Not unload on you, but to ask. Ask from you.
I asked people to. I asked people to, after my brother committed suicide. It was like I could have fixed that. I could have shown him how to live the way that I live now, that makes me feel so happy and so excited to get out and fucking just, like, whatever it is, the shittiest fucking thing, like I was saying, whatever it is, I can teach people how to be excited about life.
It's a challenge.
It is fucking hard, man. And it's like, to get that motivation, have that motivation on your own is fucking difficult. But I could have shown Matt, my brother, I could have shown him, I could have taught him, I could have poured more time and energy into saving him from himself. So I fucking put a post on Instagram or whatever, not super long after he died, asking people, if you're one of those people that's close to the fucking edge, that lives life like that, you know, like kind of at 100 miles an hour, like you're fucking bulletproof and shit. And I don't want to sound like a parent, because that's what parents say. Parents say, like, you think you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Fuck parents, man. You know, fucking parents are a bunch of cunts. They say things like, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You think you are. I don't want to sound like
7 foot tall and
that.
Pretty bulletproof.
But it's yeah. chocolate bulletproof maybe, but like you're so fragile, and yeah, I don't know. The kind of, I don't know. I kind of lost my point there a little bit. But just what we're saying about the guys that are reaching out and shit. Yeah, I asked them to.
You've asked them, but taking on board their story.
Because I want to help
where
them.
you are.
I want to help them interpret it out from outside the bubble, particularly people that drink. Drinking's a fucking poison, man. Like, imagine this as a fucking system, right? Okay, I got this thing that you can take. You can all fucking take it. Anyone can take it, but you should only have a certain amount. It'll make you feel pretty fucking good. It's a poison. Don't forget that it's a poison, but you can have X amount of this poison and you'll feel all right. You'll feel rubbish the next day because it is a poison. Don't forget that it's a poison. But we're going to sell the poison to you in packets of 24 fucking servings of it. 24 fucking servings per person. So that's one for you. That's one for you. You guys are both big guys with big dicks. Off you go to have your 24 servings of poison each. Like, what the fuck is that about? You know what I mean? Like, so to get away from the bubble of that, like, normalization of poison consumption that, like, because alcohol is not stigmatized necessarily nearly as much as it should be.
Not in Australia.
No fucking way. Because it's not. It's like, that's why there's this peer pressure and shit exists around it where, like, people can still give blokes a hard time if they're not drinking. Are you fucking serious? Like, are you kidding me? In the world that we live in now, where you can't say fucking shit to anyone, you can still give someone a hard time for not drinking a fucking beer? Get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. Like, to try and show people that that they are in a bubble. It's all fucking fake when you're in there. When you've got alcohol reacting in your brain, the way that you're drawn to those, like, party situations and shit like that.
Like, I think alcohol sits as a part of human evolution. It's a technology that's allowed for some growth, but it's stunted a lot.
Fucking oath. You know? I mean, it for a lot of people, it will never be a problem in their life. I'm not, like, talking to people who have a control over alcohol and who don't abuse it. I'm talking to people who abuse alcohol and who are looking for, who can't find an answer for themselves, you know, who can't find a way out for themselves. There is a fucking way out. And it's not going to jail. Like, it doesn't have to be going to jail. I just kind of got lucky in that one, but I guess that's what I needed to get that time away, you know? And still I wanted it afterwards. But whatever it is, like, I want to fucking help I want to help those motherfuckers because I was there. My fucking brother was there and he's dead for it. My older brother is there right now and he can be dead for it any fucking minute. Like, my father was there. He's dead for it. People are fucking dying, you know? Like, it just kills motherfuckers.
Yep.
Alcohol's so fucking dangerous. Not just because it's like, because of the immediate dangers that we all know about, but because of the long-term effects on the fucking brain that lead these people to
How many doctors did I deal with that just drilled me and said, oh, you drink more than 6 drinks a day for the cancer I got? Like, no, don't do that. And you smoke 6 cigarettes. But, like, anyway, it all comes out that one of the leading causes of cancer is alcohol.
No shit.
Like, higher than cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. That's fucking mental.
Kept in check. It's probably not bad, but it gets abused.
Yeah.
We live in a culture that abuses it. That's
because they fucking sell you a box of 24 of the cunts. Like, you get 24 at a time, and that's like the portioned out regulation.
You can buy one.
I know you can, but who the fuck is doing that, man?
Come on, I do that.
They sell fucking boxes of cask wine, you know? Like, fucking 40 standard drinks for $11. Yes, please.
True.
Like, that's a crazy fucking culture.
Yeah.
And with nothing else available, you're allowed this one poison to party with.
Yeah.
That's it. Not a single other
and
one is
shut
legal.
down festivals for the other ones. Yeah. It's gnarly, isn't it?
Fuck out of here. That's craziness.
Yeah. Sure is.
I don't know anybody who smokes 10 joints and then wants to go out and fucking bash someone's head in.
No, it's not going to happen.
Plenty of people that drink 10 beers.
It's not going to happen on MDMA or acid either.
No. I mean, yeah, if it's acid, well, maybe you should.
Someone after 10 hits of heroin's not going to bash anyone either, are they?
No, they're not.
They're going to be unconscious. But
yeah, I had a few friends die recently from heroin overdoses as well. So stay away from that shit too, kids.
Yeah, and the pharmaceuticals. Oh, damn.
Over the counter stuff, definitely
Well, I'm certainly
Good
glad
years.
you've seen a bit of clarity through it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon's next? Do you reckon you've got a story to tell and teach more people? You think, is that something?
No,
It's gonna come up, or
I
you-
still really want to pursue the comedy thing. Like, I still really want to. I've like never stopped sort of writing, I guess, ideas and concepts for jokes and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of weird though because it kind of took a step back from drinking and wanting to be that guy and all that type of shit. You shed a lot of the ego, and then you shed a lot of the belief that you had in yourself, and that kind of like rock solid idea that you had, that you were like fucking definitely going to do this and definitely going to do that, and then you start to question yourself, why the fuck do I want to do that? Like, who the fuck do I think I am? That all that kind of thing. And so slowly building up, like, I guess, a bit of an ego or a bit of a confidence enough to trust that what I am wanting to do, or what I'm wanting to create, is correct to do that. So to trust that is really hard. Whereas like when you're drinking, you just blindly trust yourself constantly. Like whatever the fuck happens, and that's fine. That's your attitude, and then you don't trust yourself at all, because you know that everything that you taught yourself was completely fucking wrong, because you drank the entire time. So you get rid of all of that shit that you ever fucking taught yourself, and then you slowly relearn lessons. So
There's more than a few comedians that have been drug and alcohol dependent and have pulled the pin on it and become funnier.
yeah, no shit.
And there's quite a few comedians who've died because of their alcohol and drug dependencies. I mean, look, the martyrs are all out there. There's so many of them.
I want to talk about the stories, like the really fucked up shit that happened in my life. That's hilarious. That's fucking funny to me. Like,
There's dark humor in every dark story, isn't there?
yeah, absolutely. And being able to sort of extract that or pull that out of a situation. And I particularly like the style of comedy, like where people are, extremely sort of open and raw, but like vicious in the way that they're humorous with themselves, and like it's like to a point that's like, fuck, what the fuck's wrong with that dude or whatever. But when you're not that I want people to think that about me, but that type of humor I find absolutely captivating, and that's the type of humor that I'd like to translate to other people. Like horrific fucking stories from my childhood and shit like that. They're like something, real. A lot of them are real, but like where is the line between, like, I know what's real and I know what's dark about it, but it may be subversive in an audience situation, and I enjoy that type of shit. But that's not at all like my only focus. Like I learned how to play the guitar in the last since I stopped drinking. Like I probably spent 6 months or whatever, and then decided to start exercising my brain again. So I learned how to play the guitar, which is something I've always wanted to do. I'm not very good, but I can play it, which is fucking sick. I get to play play and sing some of my favorite songs, which is like so much fun to be able to do that on your own, to make your own fucking music is sick. Like I used to be able to do that, but like I used to play the flute, right? Fucking, you're not getting any pussy playing the flute, right?
I don't know, man.
No,
I know
you're
some
not.
pretty hot ladies who play flute.
Yeah, well, maybe those ladies are out getting pussy playing the flute, but I fucking never getting any pussy playing the flute. At Holmes,
flute
right?
with them. The flute duet, flute.
The flute duet. I fucking learning how to thrash the axe, play some Bob Dylan, and who knows, get some ladies swoon and come over and have a cry with me, and we'll.
Are we going to see a revamp of the TV anchor, the TV host?
Oh, I'd fucking love to do more of that shit, man. Like I find that stuff just so much fun. Like it's fun to be around people that do that kind of shit because it's so high stress and all the rest of it. And yeah, I enjoyed that. I very much enjoy fucking. I'm a mad narcissist as well, so I love fucking being the center of attention, man. Like,
Just want a microphone.
Yeah, that's right. I was sat in front of a fucking massive microphone with lights in my face and shit. Like, I drove out like 2 hours out of my way. I'm gonna be late home and all the rest of it. And I'm fucking loving this shit. I'm like, let's talk some more, fellas.
Well, you sort of haphazardly kind of fell into being the dude with the microphone at jams and stuff, like early on.
Yeah.
Halloween jams at Dullet Chill or 5 Dock jams and stuff like that. Somehow you just ended up, it's like, oh, we've got the microphone, hand it over to Xave, and he'll get everyone.
Abs was doing a
laughing.
shit job. Abs was doing a fucking shit job. No, it was like, All right, it was like fucking late in the day. Somebody was talking about whipping the crowd into a frenzy so that somebody could do some fucking stupid shit, you know, and like Abs was trying his fucking best, getting nothing out of anybody, and it was kind of like the old tried and true Australian commentary method, you know, where it's like a big old tail whip and a bit. This is not to trash Abs, but to trash the fucking spinal disorder commentators and stuff like that.
The
you know?
model,
BMX race.
the model that we're used to.
Where it's like
following or
nothing exciting is happening unless something exciting is happening on the bike, and like I kind of thought like fuck that, like what's the fucking point of that, you know? Like I know every motherfucker here, everybody gets the joke, so let's go around and fucking make jokes, you know? And that's all it was. Is like I think I actually won a beer sculling contest, which is the first ever thing that happened at a jam at all, and from that Abs gave me a beer coaster or whatever, let me say something in the microphone. I said it and it got a bunch of yucks, and then
Yucks.
a bunch of yucks, and then it was like the next a little bit later on, like 20 minutes later or something like that, that's when they were trying to like get the crowd going or something, and then I think Abs gave it to me. He couldn't be fucked anymore. It wasn't that he was doing a bad job and I wanted to take over or something. He couldn't be fucked anymore, or whatever it was. He was over it, wanted to ride, and so he decided, like, you just fucking do it. You do whatever it is you wanted to do. And I was keen to get on there. Again, I'm a fucking narcissist. You get to hear my own voice fucking blaring at me through speakers, man. Like, I'm all over that shit, like a rash.
Well, I think BMXers definitely took to your brand of humour, and then just, I don't know, it just became like a given. It was like, we're going to go to this jam,
weird.
Zave's going to have a microphone, and it's going to be fantastic. You know, like,
I did a lot of fucking different jams around. A lot of different jams, actually.
Yep.
Actually, John, I fucking owe you money. Do you remember when this is gonna make me sound like such a scumbag? When I was living in Newtown and we did one of the Halloween jams, I think, and they were starting to get pretty big time, and you were like, you said to me, hey, I'll pay you to come and commentate the day because we've got sponsors and shit. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was doing it for free anyway, so of course I'll do it for money. Well, fuck not, that's great. It was like $170 or something. And we turn up on the day and the generator's fucked. Remember that one? The generator's totally fucked. And so somebody's got to go scramble and go and hire another generator. And so, of course, the money that had been set aside for me, I suppose, was used on buying another generator. Fair enough. Totally understand that and all that sort of shit. I was living in Newtown at the time. Didn't have an income or anything like that.
Newtown days.
Yeah, man, I lived in a fucking flat for like
7 minutes.
Fucking 7 minutes flat. Yeah, I had 7 minutes and then I was out. Just slightly longer than the English guys. And then I actually called John Young, who had promised me promised me money for the thing, and actually had to be like, hey, so have you got that money for me now? So I've always planned on paying you back for that because I was fucking. Fuck that, man. No, it wasn't. It wasn't fucking mine. But fuck, I was poor, dude. I had nothing and no one, and I just totaled my car and ruined another relationship.
That's right.
Actually, ruined 2 relationships, totaled my fucking car and all this shit. And I wasn't in a good spot again. But that's just me finding yet another rock bottom, my friend. So, $170 coming your way at some point soon. That's all right. No, it's coming. I'll make some coin these days. Oh yeah, I'm an arborist now. I'm not a chef anymore, so it's fucking.
You working with Donga?
No. Fuck no.
Wasn't he climbing trees, chopping trees?
He's probably chopping trees. I don't think he was climbing trees.
I think he's doing both.
No, him and all those boys had a gig doing trees with Dixons, who were fucking pack of cunts, if you ask me. They just rolled their crane the other day.
Yeah, right. You've got your own.
Cranes.
You've got your own gig and your own setup.
Yeah, I got my own business, but I contract out to other companies and shit like that, which is it's easier money to get. Not better money, but easier money in terms of like I leave the job and I get to go home and shit like that. Unless when I got to fucking drive to Campbelltown and do fucking podcasts for you motherfuckers all night.
Right.
But I'm happy to do it.
This is the big time.
Yeah, this is the fucking big time, actually. Bright lights, man. Like, this is crazy.
Second floor.
Yeah, second floor.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right. In the penthouse.
I guess I wanted to maybe touch on you being in the mountain scene, being like the older guy being not only an older, more experienced rider, but also you're a big figure. Like, you're obviously a big human. You're a big presence at the skate park a lot of the time. People know you from the jams. They know you're the funny guy on the microphone, and you're like this dude. And the Blue Mountains scene is obviously smaller than, and sort of removed from Sydney a little bit. You definitely may not even know it, but you have like a lot of influence over younger riders. I mean, these days you're in your spot digging and stuff like that. But a few years ago, maybe, like when Katoomba got its little revamp, the park, and I would get, and this is also obviously, showing you're credited as, worthy of being a sponsored rider for a brand like S&M. I had kids who were from the lower mountains, 13-year-old little kids coming into the shop in Newtown and wanting to buy fucking Perfect 10 bars. And they're tiny little kids.
Shit.
And like, Xave's got Perfect 10s on his bike.
No shit.
And I sold like 2 or 3 sets of Perfect 10s to kids that were way too small.
Fucking hell.
And I don't know, I think that's pretty
you
amazing.
fucking hearing this, Chris Muller? Fucking hell, man.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's and that's the power of, of
I was totally
people.
unaware of shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
realised it
and
actually
you've
translated.
influenced people, more than just your local scene, you know what I mean? So
I always just thought that, like, I always just see those people as like my friends more than, like, I never thought that like it would turn into like, an influencing thing or something. Like, I understand that that's the fucking trickle down effect of being sponsored. That's the idea behind it.
Yes,
behind
of
it,
course.
yeah.
I'm a willing participant in that, like I've gone and I've done I've done shit for S&M that's like actually done for S&M kind of thing. But like, riding at the park and the character that I suppose I am at the park or used to be at the park, it was just being natural, just fucking around with people and shit like that, and it always got rowdy, it always got loud, but that was because of the guys that you're riding with, guys you're bouncing off, We don't have a scene in the upper mountains now outside of, myself and Al and Pato, really. There are some guys, but they float about or whatever. No one's really connected or anything like that. So there's like 2 or 3 of us, and me and Al dig, So our time spent out there, I guess, fuck, man, like that's crazy. It's different now though. Like, all this shit's fucked up because if you're not willing to play the Instagram game, how the fuck are you meant to do that? Like, influence people or get bars sold or fucking get someone to buy a frame or whatever, Like, go to the skate park and there's literally no bike riders in Katoomba except
People used to get sponsored before Instagram.
I know, I did. I fucking didn't have any social media when I got sponsored. Thank you very much, Matthew Holmes. I was legit,
I remember
mate.
those days.
I remember those days too.
back in the day.
But no, like it's now it's like you got to fucking you're either doing something or you're putting it on an Instagram or whatever. I find far more value in digging my jumps.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like, fuck building a fucking Instagram profile when I can build a down ramp. You know what I mean? Like when I can build.
I reckon if you got
a
enough
landing,
phones
James
and
Brooks.
put them, it'd look like those kickers you had in the interview.
Which ones?
All those iPhone 10s all stacked up. You can make a good tranny.
On the what are you talking about?
Just laying phones on.
Well, at the Thrash for Cash,
Where they tell you.
Thrash for Cash at Emu Plains range, you had a bunch of screens in that down ramp or back of the lip or whatever. It looked fucking.
Is that where you
funky.
boosted to the sky and launched off the bike?
No,
that
that was the year before.
Buddha out of the drain?
The spine thing where I did the 360.
Yeah.
That's where you became a
the
meme.
First year, yeah, that actually.
You
that's
became a
true.
black and white meme.
I did become a meme.
Bailing off the
Did
3.
Jay Wilson jump that as well in a big 1 foot X?
That was 2 years later.
That was 2
Yeah,
years
that was
later.
a different
It's probably my
setup.
favourite photo on the mag ever.
Good photo.
So
Wilson.
we had 3 jams there.
They were
I
fun,
wasn't
man.
super involved in organising the first one, although I did help out at the last minute. But that was basically Alex and Nick Edwards because they were on
Nick
a pretty
Edwards.
productive path together at that
Yeah.
stage, pushing Marshall clothing pretty hard and shit. Alex was making some fucking headway, in terms of his
Battle.
career or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then
Had you
that
done
jam came
MTV
along.
Scarred by then?
I don't fucking know actually.
Timeline, man.
I have no idea. I'm
maybe.
pretty sure he'd crashed already by then.
Yeah.
But he fucking had. He'd fucked
Yeah.
himself up already. But I don't know if MTV had come out or whatever.
Oh, shit.
But no, he was productive at that point. Like he was being real productive and shit, getting shit done. He put that jam on with those dudes, and they built that crazy spine. It was just fucking calling for that fucking 3.
Super boost.
Yeah, I know that was filmed by John Young and Abs, and those clips have never seen the light of day.
You serious? Can we cut them into this?
If you
can find 'em.
fucking find them, yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess the second, the Thrash for Cash, the second one, where you just had that big wooden king, it was a big set of doubles.
That
and
was like
you threed that, and that was pretty.
That was
pretty
30
awesome.
foot. That was 30-foot plus jump. That was fucking
Yeah.
massive with not much running. And Luke Gorecki double whipped it.
That's right.
That was
He also
fucking
front wheel
wild.
head tube cased it somehow.
He did. Hey,
It was the most perfect double whip you've ever seen, and then just ploughed the head tube
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
top of
yeah.
the landing.
Ben Halpin got fucking roasted doing a tail whip on it, a single tail whip, which was loose because it was like Taj style, like real long in the
Yes,
air, off
and
his
didn't
bike
get
for
stuck.
ages. Yeah,
The whip just stopped on him.
and he fucking ended up taking a shark bite out. Well, yeah, there's some cool shit at that jam.
Man,
That was a crazy
your
jam.
influence. I mean, you managed to convince kids
That's right. to
for
donate
a
Dave.
terrible Eastern frame. You were shaking at them to do the best
do the
salmon
salmon.
bail, and these kids, who are probably all adults now, fucking sprinting at this horrifically terrifying, like 8-foot wooden kicker with a 30-foot gap.
Just launching
They have
off
no
there.
chance in
Yeah.
fucking hell of clearing, and they're just sprinting at it and just jumping off and pretending they're a bloody
Man.
fish out of water
That
and
shit
just
was fucking
ploughing into the
mad.
back of landing. And you're shaking a frame saying that wasn't good enough. Fucking go again,
That
kid.
was so fucking. A lot of pushing kids,
And
man.
people
like,
do what you said because you're Xave and you have the
oh,
microphone.
fucking
and you-
come on, Liv was there as well, man.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
Me and Alex peer pressuring somebody to do something. It's pretty hard to say no, I think.
Oh, but yeah.
We need to start a petition to get you commentating the Olympics.
Get me commentating the fucking Vans comp.
The Olympics.
I'll
fuck
make
it.
Daryl now look amazing. He looks amazing every time he
Are you
does
gonna
those
wear
contests.
happy
I can't
pants?
say anything about
You're
his
gonna wear,
image. He
You're gonna
looks
wear
amazing.
happy pants?
If that's what it fucking takes, man, I'll even wear Vans to the Vans thing if that's what it takes. Fucking-
We'll get
those
Danger
shoes
to
I
tie
actually do
dye
have a
you.
pair of Vans for walking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ride in that shit.
Just
Just
Those
for
Vans
walking.
are made for walking.
they are made for
That's just
walking. They're
what
not
they'll
made for
do.
riding bikes in. Unfortunately,
The problem is if you go on,
In
if
my
you
opinion.
become, if you go on screen, if you're a commentator at the Vans comp and
Mm.
you're behind the microphone of everyone's going to mistake you because you're a lookalike for about 7 different celebrities.
yeah, there's a few of us.
You know,
getting
you know,
around.
you're Seth Century, you're
Yeah.
fucking Ashton Kutcher, you're Josh Hartnett. Everyone's like, doesn't Xave look like that guy?
There's a whole bunch of us, man. There's probably fucking 50 or 60 of me getting around that look like all of those dudes. It's so weird. Every now and then I bump into one of us and I'm just like, fuck, that cunt looks like me.
Yeah.
Like, and he's looking at me just like, fucking who the fuck is that guy? Like, who's that handsome motherfucker over there?
He's adorable. And I was talking to Sean Gardner today in the shop, and I started showing him some old footage of you and stuff, and he's like, "That's the one where he looks like fucking Seth Century."
Fucking hell. Yeah, it'd be fun to dig up that old edit I made with Ben. Liv put that edit together, the one that was on Hindsight 3.
Yeah.
That was a fucking red hot edit too.
Well, I've got it then.
Somewhere.
Whack it up. It's better than anything I've done in the last 10 years, man. I need some fucking footy up there. John, you've been holding those clips for too long. You got the 5 dock bowl clip, those 2 360s.
Ooh. Well, the 5 Dock Bowl clip, the photo of that's in your 2020 interview,
Mm.
Yeah.
which is, I mean,
Gorman took the photo from the wrong side. He admits that.
still pretty rad.
Five Dock's a hard place to shoot.
It is the clip. The clip from that little tripod camera you set up. I remember that being fucking unbelievable. It's like shot fish down from just inside the high side of the pocket.
Yeah.
The way it comes around looks so legit. And I was just like, that's it. Hang the bike up. That's the best thing you're ever going to do. You don't need to top that.
Boom.
And then, yeah, who knows?
Well, what's next in BMX for you?
Keep digging, man. I
digging.
love digging. Like, I'm riding like faster and jumping bigger jumps and going to higher and stuff like that than I ever have in my entire life. And it's like brand new. It's brand new, and I'm digging it, and like I'm digging it literally for myself. And it's like, yeah, that's BMX for me now. Like, I have no desire to fucking, I don't know, do anything except dig
Faster,
and
higher.
just dig a line that's just amazing from start to finish, perfect. That has that, I know the feeling that I'm looking for, and when I get there, then I'll let you know. But it's just around the corner, you know. It's so much fun. Like, that's all I want to do is dig and ride. I don't want to go to the skate park and spend time trying to fucking land tail whips anymore.
No.
I want to spend that time digging, and then when I get that run through, it's all worth it. You know, I don't want I don't need tail whips, and I don't need fucking tricks and stuff like that anymore. You know, I'm certainly not like. I'm not into the whole like the bowl craze that's kind of taken over or whatever. To me is like a form of, I don't know, just like pussyfooting around the fact that it's like you just want to ride jumps.
Yeah.
So just fucking build jumps. You know, like I get going to the bowl. I get guys that do that. It's fucking
You don't have to work on it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's financially feasible. It's time manageable. You don't have to build the fucking thing on your own unless you fucking Clint Reynolds or something. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can spend time riding your bike doing that. Yeah, you can. I'd just rather have, like, one day just have the perfect line. And that's why I've got this spot where it is with the guys that it's with. Out in the fucking bush, no kid is riding out there from the train station. You know what I mean? Like, no one's getting out there unless they fucking know where they are.
Yeah.
No scooters either.
No fucking scooters either, Tom. Not one fucking, for as far as you can see.
Yeah.
And you can see pretty far. But it's just that's all I want from it. Like, just doing that, you know. Yeah. Riding for S&M is fucking amazing. I'd like for that not to stop as well. It's pretty fucking incredible. But yeah, if I'm able to give back to them in some way, even if it's a rocking table on a real big jump and the photo's really well taken by a great photographer and it looks good, that to me is so much more important than like gram clips after gram clips after gram clips. And that's just, you know, that'll probably get me kicked off the team because I'm unproductive.
Has that changed? I mean, I heard it from so many people. 2020 stopped, and so many crew are like, "Well, what do I aim for now?
Yeah, what are we working towards?
That I can't. Yeah. I'm not working towards. Yeah, a spread in the mag, an interview, or
it's very much like that.
You know, if I just have to go out and get clips, is it worth doing?
Like I think it is. Like going out and filming. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but is it just worth doing it for throwaway clips, flicking through a phone?
Oh, is it worth riding a bike
for Instagram?
No. Riding a bike becomes for Instagram.
No, but I mean,
I'd still be doing the shit I'm doing if I didn't have Instagram.
Yeah, but is it worth just putting all the stuff on Instagram?
Oh, I don't put all the stuff on Instagram. I put fuck all on Instagram. Like for the amount I'm out there digging, trying to squeeze minutes out. Like when I was crapping on about inspirational shit before, I'm talking about fucking milking every day for every fucking minute.
And that means savings is a special time too, isn't it?
Well, yeah, man, like shit like that. You spend that time. I spend a lot of the summertime with my daughter, but because I'm still getting to know her. I've only known her for 2 years or whatever. And the jumps will be there. They're fine. And if they get bulldozed, there's plenty more bush. I'll go and start another project. You know, like that's the way that I look at it now. Is like, as long as it keeps going, it's a fucking good thing, right? And if it gets bulldozed, so what? It was going to get bulldozed anyway. Doesn't matter if it happens now or 10 years down the track. I'm just going to start digging another spot. Just keep that.
I don't reckon you're getting bulldozed, man. I can't get a bulldozer between the trees.
Yeah.
Like the only way they can bulldoze it by knocking down the trees
down. That's how stubborn the Blue Mountains Council is, though. They'll fucking do that, man.
I know, but that's where you'll be in check with some crew who'll go, you can't knock the trees down.
That's true, and I've got a few of those blokes on side, but yeah, no, that's pretty much like. Man, I'm kind of doing it. Like I always wanted to have something that I could say, like, yeah, these jumps are fucking legit. They're big. They're fast. They work. They're well manicured. They're smooth. They, you know, all that type of shit. That's the kind of shit I guess a lot of guys.
It looks like a theme park ride, man.
It kind of feels like that, and it's the shit that a lot of guys fucking spend so much time and energy creating an image around. That they do that, you know, like dudes that turn up to a bowl with like fucking their socks pulled up and all the right looking shit, you know what I mean? Like they're dressed like they're fucking just come out of the Austin Woods or something, and it's like, you don't even do it for real, but you know what I mean? Like, and I guess I always wanted, like I've always wanted to do it for real, so I did. I just have done it for real.
I think you've done it for real for the whole time I've known you.
Well, I've tried to, I guess, like as much as possible, just tried to be honest with myself and honest with fucking, particularly with like how I represent S&M, like just honest and straight up with that shit. you can't fucking have the image of a guy that has great jumps or whatever, or the image of a trails dude or something like that if you're roaching another dude's spot. Or
You
if
can't
you're
have great jumps unless you build great jumps.
Exactly, right? They're not going to exist if you sit there going, well, fucking, how high do I need to pull my socks today to look like I fucking rode trails?
Is that
or
a thing? I thought that was just a road bike lycra dudes that had sock height.
I think people pull their socks up.
Is that a thing?
Look like they're a part of something.
Socks are up these days.
Fuck.
But
I don't fucking know.
What does
man.
BMX become?
I don't know. When was it? Why can't it just...
well, if I wear shorts, my
BMX
socks are up a
sick,
little
like-
bit because I don't like how white my legs are.
Are they the
mostly.
shin pads?
Oh, I
in
pull my
modern day?
socks up too sometimes. Sometimes I go out there in ankle socks. It doesn't really faze me, but I'm not going, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just weird when people rap so much. They're desperate for the image rather than actually doing it. If
The
they put as
reality.
much time and effort into doing it, going and digging rather than collecting the imagery shit that they need to look the part, they'd fucking have it, and then they would be the part.
I mean,
you
something
know?
I always thought about with magazines when I was a kid, you know, and when I started the mag, when I was running a mag, was like, I remember a couple of times I'd open a mag when I was young, and you'd always see the thing, you know, the dude that you thought was cool.
Mm.
Oh, that dude in the cover's cool, and he's got a sticker on his head tube there, and he's got a sticker on the down tube there, and his shorts there, and maybe he had his socks up to a certain height. I can't remember the socks. But if you read an interview with him or they had something to say, and maybe they said something fucking profound, and then you suddenly realize that it wasn't about the fucking socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they shredded, but they had something more going on. Yeah, maybe they dug the trails, maybe, you know, maybe they were like Taj and it's like, oh, he's a vegan, or, you know, there was a bigger picture to this dude who could ride good. Because I don't think there's ever been a shortage in Australia, especially of fucking bullshit good riders.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's always been a bit more about the story behind them that made them a good person, you know, beyond just being able to do trick X
Yeah,
or with style Y.
I know what you mean. What do you mean about the socks thing? That there's more to it than the pulled up socks. Like,
Well, I'm just saying the image that you see.
I'm not.
We're getting hung up on the
stuck.
socks
No,
here
I'm not
for a
stuck
minute.
on the socks
I'm
thing. I'm
just
like, what's
saying
the fucking metaphor? I don't
the image
understand
that's
it.
portrayed, if it's on Instagram or in a magazine or in a video
Yeah.
or whatever, any old school media you can think of, but like there is more to it than just that image that's portrayed, and that's you building the jumps and making that scene happen. That's what I'm saying. There's a bigger picture to it than just that little image of what's shown.
Yeah, well, that's
what I'm
that,
getting.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like when you see a picture of a scene, it's not just the ingredients within the picture that make that up.
There's
Is
a
that what
lot-
you mean?
there's a
Like
lot
it's
more.
it's
There's a lot more
obvious that
behind it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not just like it's not.
And
just
it's not
a
easy to
collection of
get. It's not that
things.
easy to get either. You can't
Not
just
at
go and
all.
buy that.
No, you fucking can't go and buy it. You can't fucking buy that shit. It's just you have to fucking want it, but
Yeah.
you got to make a decision that you want it, and then just fucking go and do it.
Go to work.
Fucking oath, you got to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the joy in it. You fucking work till it hurts.
And that's when you make stuff happen.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Fuck it, you guys invited me on this shit, and I haven't lifted a fucking finger in fucking so long for the BMX community.
Apart from
And
huge
you guys
fucking trails.
You guys, well, I mean, that's selfish though. Like I ride those, I get to ride those jumps. Al hasn't even got to hit the hip down the bottom yet because the poor guy came up short on one of the long jumps and jacked his ankle the other week. And it's like I got to ride the hip. You know, I posted that clip on. I love that shit. And then it's like I feel so bad for that dude. I haven't done fuck all for BMX. I just want to ride these fucking jumps. You know, like. And I want you dudes to come and hang out and stuff like that.
But that's why you ride BMX in the first place. You're not part of a team.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's
And-
true. I want to ride with my friends,
and
I want you guys to
people
come and
like
shred.
us have gotten stoked from seeing the progress of your spot, and seeing you so stoked on your spot
Yeah.
gets us stoked
That's
and
sick.
makes me happy that you're fucking doing this and you're enjoying your time there, and it's just like it's really good to see, and like in turn that's you giving back because you're
that's
making me
pretty
happy because I see that and I'm like fucking right on, dude, like this is, and he's doing it, and
Well, that's an easy way to do it, man.
So,
like if
that's
you're
the
going to let me
cycle.
off the hook like that,
That's
that's
the
fucking
cycle.
easy.
What do you
I'll
mean,
give
like-
back like that.
yeah,
That's
I
fine.
mean, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't view it as selfish whatsoever, you know, so it's
I mean, yeah, like everyone's welcome to come and have a ride for the most part. Like if you don't know the avenues to go down to come and have a ride, well then that's when you know that you're probably not gonna. You know what I mean? Like if you don't know how to go about that, then yeah, you're probably not welcome. But everyone else, man, like, yeah, I want people to come and ride the jumps. Like, there's no point just having fucking jumps where you just lock the place up and say, if you don't dig here for 90 fucking hours or something, you can all go fuck yourselves and all the rest of it. Like, I've heard there's places that are unbelievably strict about.
They exist for sure.
Yeah, like who comes when who's digging, all that type of thing, and it's like, fuck that shit, man. Like, I still want the same type of attitude that we had when we had the jumps at Hughes Avenue down the bottom of the fucking street at Lawson when I was 10, digging with Andrew Boorman and Steve Brown. Like, just wanting to have jumps for the sake of it, wanting to go fast and high and shit like that, and wanting to share that feeling with my fucking mates. That's all it is. Like, I love that shit about BMX, and it took a lot of confusion and confuddlement over the last 10 years to sort of arrive at that really happy destination where I'm at now, you know, like, and looking forward to moving into a more mature riding life through my 30s, you know, like, I never ever counted on
making it this far,
dude, at all. At fucking all, man. I never thought I would even like live this fucking long, let alone have support from people in any way,
I'm
shape, or
stoked to see you
form.
make it this far, man.
Dude, I'm so psyched. Like, and I can't fucking wait for what's next. That's the kicker, you know. And to me, it's all fucking doable, failure or not. I'm fucking doing it. Like, I don't care if I fucking fail. Who gives a shit about fucking failing?
That's what teaches
You know what I mean? Like, when you fucking go to jail and you fucking have somebody like staring in your asshole and shit like that to make sure you're not smuggling drugs in there, it takes a lot of ego away from you. It makes you, appreciate the worst possible things, because it's not that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fucking getting treated like an animal and all that type of shit. It's very, very like poignant, annoying, horrific things that happen to you in your day-to-day life that you would just find so fucking frustrating, that are just like fine, just so perfect, you know, or enjoyable compared to like how some people have it. Like, some of these cunts live fucking 10 years in that place, man. Like, fuck that shit. I dipped my toe in a fucking pool and got to decide whether or not to jump in, you know, and I didn't jump in. I fucking not going near that pool ever again, you know what I mean? And
you got stuff to build, man.
Appreciate every fucking day that it's not anything like that, because there's guys in there that there's no fucking way they're ever going to get out. You know what I mean? They're never going to get out of the cycle. They're never going to get out of the whole thing. I just love shit, man. I love it now, and I look forward to it, and I just fucking bring it on. You know, the more shit you can, I don't care what the fuck it is, good or bad, fucking bring it my way, because I'll fucking deal with it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I love the shit.
Well, I mean, Matt and myself included, I guess, like, we are stoked that you have, you know, you're out sort of the other side of a lot of this sort of stuff, and you're at a point where you are able to just stand up and say, I love this shit, I'm doing what I'm doing. And we couldn't be more stoked that you came on here with us, and also that you're doing it and you're having fun, and we enjoy, you know, we enjoy seeing you stoked, and you're digging jumps, you're doing your thing, and it's the fucking best, man. And I don't know, I guess it's probably almost time to sort of start wrapping this whole thing up. I mean,
I got to get home to my kid and be up for work in 4 hours. So.
I'd love to do this again one time, man.
Yeah,
I think there's more tales to be told.
We got plenty.
Well, that's the thing.
depth.
There's so much shit. Like, yeah, fuck. We could talk about my mum all night.
Man.
I don't have any mum issues. That's fucking. I'm kidding.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah, and is anyone you want to kind of just shout out to, give thanks to for, you know, in your BMX sort of journey? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, obviously, Alex Liv is just the greatest confidant and friend of mine. We've been through thick and thin together, and he knows probably more about me than I know about myself, I guess. At times, you know, like, he's such a dude, and he's opened so many doors for me and created so many connections for me. In terms of that, like, you know, professional level of BMX or whatever the fuck, that world of sponsorship and all that shit. Like, he took care of a lot of those connections for me, and like, showed me a lot of shit. Chris Smith taught me how to fucking dig jumps, you know, like my cousins, Mark and Roger. They taught me what a bike should look like from a young age, you know, like how these things should be set up, why they look tough, what is it about them that looks tough and shit like that. Chris Smith teaching me how to fucking dig, how to ride. Newland showing me how to dig fucking jumps, how to be strict and how to be unapologetic about it.
He's the godfather of trails in Australia, probably.
Exactly,
in
and owning the fact, like,
On the East
but
Coast.
when that
On
was
the East
happening,
Coast.
when that was happening in the fucking late 90s, man, like that was a time when there was no fucking like, that was a fucking hard time to be alive because there was a lot of angst, like a lot of teenage angst and all that kind of shit, and nobody was fucking connected via the internet. Nobody was sharing any stories. Kids were getting fucking bullied and and all that type of shit. And he was like so fucking down the line with, he was just absolutely rigid in the way that he behaved, with the care that he took in overlooking the jumps and shit like that. And like that level of strictness and that approach is fucking, like I've never had a father, by the way, so Glenn Newland is almost like a dad. No, he's not at all. But he's probably the most positive male role model I've ever had in my life. You know, at any kind of young age, I was like, wow, that guy's pretty strict on himself. That's probably a good way to live your life. You know, that was the closest I've ever had to seeing a man doing the right thing, I suppose, in fucking life. And oddly, like, there's no fucking way Glenn knows that at all. But yeah, you know, like outside of those dudes, obviously you guys, obviously Matt Holmes and you, Tom, you taking me on at the shop and fucking, you gave me those, I still have those wheels that you gave me and built me up fucking like nearly 10 years ago now.
Fucking nearly 10 years, wow.
There's still, no, it's not quite that long, but it's like 6.5, 7 years or something like that. It's a long fucking time. You, Holmes, man, like you ran pictures of me in the magazine. You let me write a column for the magazine, and I fucking cockily told you, don't edit my shit. I said, don't edit it or don't run it. And,
I know you did.
You didn't edit it, so thank you, man. Like that I could not fucking believe. I could not fucking believe being so cocky that I would say something like that to you. But yeah, thank you for being so understanding of I guess the cockiness or brashness that you probably have to try and push out of the Blue Mountains and into a pretty established scene.
I understand that coming from a small place as well.
And yeah, fully, man. Like it's the same shit, you know. You're like, what am I in for? You know, what's this going to be about? Yeah. And John Young, massively like. One thing I definitely want to say about like the early videos, particularly like the early Halloween jams and stuff like that, and like the Irvine interviews and all that type of shit, is like I was just as much of a fucking doofus as Irvine. Like in every fucking regard, right? Like in every way, I was just as much of a fucking dickhead. John edited things to make me look like some kind of, like I got the upper hand somehow mentally or whatever the fuck it was. And, you know, the way that John has put me into his videos throughout the years has been so incredibly flattering and somehow a beautiful kind of manipulation of the truth, I suppose. That it's like not got me kicked off teams and fucking, you know, not had me ostracized from the BMX community. And it, you know, my behavior very well could have, and, you know, currently is like, there's still people that fucking hate me for shit that I did years ago that I've apologized for fucking 1,000 times, that, you know, through their need of retribution or something like that, they can't let go of it, and that's okay. I apologize to those people as well, but yeah, thanks so much to John for always painting me up in such a positive light. It's really it really is something that like I don't mean to do or anything, and yeah, you've always been so kind to me with the camera and the editing, man. So like I appreciate that massively, because you've the only person that's ever shown myself to the world or anything, or the internet or anything like that. And you were very kind in the way that you did that. So thank you very much. And yeah, thank you guys again for having me on here. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure. And
anytime.
I really, really hope you guys can come up to the jumps sometime. We'll have a ride and I'll get a flatland patch dug out for you.
I'm going to come and cage shot jumps.
Fucking, no, you are not coming.
Fuck yeah.
I appreciate
Thank you,
it,
man.
Rad.
Is that it?
Done.
One of these. Thanks, man.
That was awesome, man.
Fucking
Thank you.
Christ. How long was that?